Whoa, wait. We don't have time for this today, guys. Let's get to this. We've got a busy day today. It's playoffs day. Welcome, everybody! Yes, that's probably gonna get taken down, but it's okay. You know what? It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. Welcome back to Science Saturday. My name is Alex Murray, also known as AZ Axel, and today, it's playoff time! And I felt like that was just absolutely appropriate and it needed to be done. So, you know what? We will take the risk. We'll take the risk. I will put enough space between that little song and our intro to be able to get us that amazing good song, because that song is baseball. That is literally baseball to me. Welcome back, everybody, to Science Saturday. Once again, thank you for being here, guys. I hope you guys are going to have a fun time with today's playoffs. We've got a lot of stuff to cover for playoffs today, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't recall, and if you were not here last week, we did, in fact, finish our regular season for the Backyard Project, and these were the results that we got. These are the results that we got for our season. We got the Nobles and Captains are going to be facing off in the first round. Whoever wins that, it's going to be a ladder-style playoffs for us this year, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll be taking on the Downey Ducks. Winner of that goes to play against the Apollos. Winner of that gets to go play against the Whistlers, and the winner of that series gets to go play the championship round against the Memphis Kings. So welcome, everybody, to the Science Saturday stream here on this Saturday. My name, again, is Alex Murray, also known as AZ Axel. I am the host here for Science Saturday. Hopefully we'll have a lot of fun today. We have a lot to get through, and that's kind of why I wanted to cut that intro short a little bit, because we have just so much to do, and we've got questions. And yes, you guys are correct. Which teams are going to throw their number 1 or number 2 starter in their first game? What are they going to decide to do, and why? And we're actually going to run into our first serious discussion about that actually in Game 1 here, because the Queen's Nobles have a better number 2 starter in Ed Barker currently in terms of stats than Tiffany Bosworth, who is their ace. In fact, if we look at their head-to-head matchups, and this is why we're going to jump into this first, Bosworth has been terrible in her only start against the Virginia Beach Captains. And Ed Barker had a flawless start against them. So there may be a decision to go right off the bat here for the Queens Nobles to go with their number 2 starter. So I think what we're going to end up doing is just having you guys in chat put the name of the person that you'd like to see start, because that's going to be easier than me trying to make a whole bunch of voting polls and a bunch of links that really just take me way too much time to do. So what we're going to be doing is every single time that we have a situation where we could use a number 2 starter, we'll be voting as a community here in chat to be able to do that. So just let the Queen Noble players vote. Trust the scouting, start Bosworth. That sounds kind of like a Virginia Beach Captains. I think Dishnet should start. I wish we could import Dishnet into this team. I think he actually be perfect for them. But so I mean, you guys have the option. We could let the Queens Nobles throw out Bosworth and see if that works against the Virginia Beach Captains. Bosworth has definitely not Wing Quan. Bosworth is definitely their best ace. She is by far their ace. But I just don't know. She didn't do very well against the Beach Captains last time, so I just don't know if that's going to be something that would be actually the best interest of the team. But if you guys are okay with throwing out the aces, because that's what the captains are going to do. The captains are absolutely going to be throwing out Earl Abbott. Next time Saturday Ever Pitcher in the Backyard Project is Dishnet? What? Good grief, guys. Good grief. Everyone's saying start the ace. All right, we'll start the ace then. Nothing else to be done about that. So let's go ahead and double check the Captain's Stadium really fast. Just in case they're having some kind of a 3D environment that I need to just double check really fast. So give me 1 second here, guys. That's looking pretty good. It's not too bad. Although it's not exactly the wide shot that I was looking for. That's fine. Sorry, guys, I just realized that I may not have double-checked my FOV settings, and that would be a problem. There we go. That's going to be a better angle for us to look at. And just make sure that's lined up. And I think we're good to go. All right. Let's get to this first round game at this point. Yep, that looks good. All right. So their ballpark is all set and ready to go. Let's jump into this. So we have our first game today is going to be round 1 of the playoffs for the Backyard Project League. This is the BPL League. Going to be a game between the Queens Nobles away versus the Virginia Beach Captains who are home. Let's make you space for another Dishnet. I mean, speaking of sacrificing players, there is going to be an update, hopefully by the end of the stream, guys, about Season 2. Because after the end of today, guys, Season 1 is over. After we're done here, we're going to... I mean, there might be one more stream for Season 1. But this is technically the end of Season 1. As soon as we're done here. So, we'll be having more discussions about Season 2, your players, and potentially a new form that's in the works right now that you guys will be able to utilize. So let's go ahead and jump into this game first here. So big matchup here between the Queens Nobles and the Virginia Beach Captains. The Nobles are 4-13 on the road. The Captains are 9-8 at home. So unfortunately, the Queens Nobles are not home during any of these playoff games where they were 15-2 over the course of the season. I intend to keep on keeping my player the same. Okay, I think that'll work. I need to double check on what we're going to do for some of the import players, and whether or not that's going to be too much of an advantage for some players or too little of an advantage for some players. So I think most players that are already in the league, I think they can stay the same. I think it's going to be anybody who had made a player that wasn't in Season 1 may have to recreate their player for Season 2. And anyone who wants to tweak their player will probably want to just simply recreate it, because we're going to be doing a whole new form that has more control over your guys' ability to make the player exactly the way you want it. So hopefully, again, we'll have more information about that down the road, and hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully it'll be good. All right, let's jump into this first game of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be seeing Bobby McCoy, Stephanie Morgan, Tanya Yoshida, Mikey Thomas, Eric LeBeau, Isosceles Triangle, Reese Worthington, Will Smith, and on the mound for the captain, or for the Nobles, my apologies, Tiffany Bosworth. Mikey Thomas was almost the league leader in homers for the season. His .212 batting average is not that good, but his OPS of .811 was decent enough, and the 13 home runs are a masterful piece of work right there. On the other side, the captain's side, we're going to be seeing Star Moonbeam, Naomi Murray, Greg Peters, Vladimir Guerrero, Samuel Middleton, Jimmy Rollins, Cliff Lloyd, J.D. Epps, and on the mound, their ace and star pitcher, Earl Abbott. And it's amazing that both of these pitchers are hot coming into this ball game. So this is going to be very, very, very interesting. There are no home backyard baseball characters, so I don't have to worry about sounds today, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have been having a problem with the... Whoa, that's really loud. Hold on a second. That was a bit much. Okay, let's go back to that now that it's actually at a... Oh, yeah, the crowd's very excited for a playoff day. In fact, maybe we'll go with like 110. Maybe 110 will work? That might work. 110 might work. 'Cause I don't want the crowd to be like death or, you know, completely silent. Also, what on earth happened here? I must have been in my 4K mode for a split second. Hold on. Can you automatically set up the switches, please, for me? Thank you. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. There we go. And then I'm pretty sure these were expanded, weren't they? Oh, the joys of playing in a widescreen monitor and then realizing that I forgot to put everything back the way it was supposed to be. So give me 1 second here, guys, while I get everything back the way it was supposed to be. Before we get started, we got lots of games to get through today. I don't want to have a whole bunch of issues with this. There we go, because I like the information at this point. All right. So, again, Earl Abbott on the mound for the Virginia Beach Captains. And he's had a .320 ERA for the season, 7-5 record. He's had a 111.2 innings pitched, 99 hits given up, only 12 home runs given up for the season, guys. That's the same amount of walks as he's had home runs. He's had 160 strikeouts. He only throws the ball about 89 to 91 miles an hour. He might be able to top it up around 94 if he really pushed it. But he is a control pitcher. Abbott is definitely not going to walk batters, and he's going to make this very difficult for the Queens Nobles. So this should be very interesting to see how he performs. All right, we're going to hide everything. Cool. And again, welcome to Riley Field. The pirate ship out in center. That's why you know it's the captains. Whoa! Okay, they're going to be, like, rambunctious the entire time, aren't they? Okay. Guess we have to say 100 then. All right, fine. I mean, if the game wants us to be 100, we'll be 100. Good grief. All right, so that was a ground out second baseman Peters. Easy out there against McCoy. And we're going to be having Stephanie Morgan up at bat next, batting .361 for the season so far. She's had a good year so far at this point. And she'll strike out. And the crowd's just going to be all over the place today. Yoshida up next, last person for the inning here, and she strikes out. Sounds good for you guys? All right, awesome. It's just on my end then. It's just my end. right. I'll just lower it down on my end, and that'll be fine. All right, so that was a 1-2-3 inning there for Earl Abbott. Good start here for the Virginia Beach Captains. That'll leave it up to Bosworth to repeat the same thing. Bosworth had 109 innings. Oh, you weren't commenting on the sound. Oh, okay, you're commenting on other stuff. All right. Well, either way, I hope it sounds good enough for all you guys out there. I hope you hear at least a little bit of the crowd noise. Bosworth has had 147 strikeouts during the course of the regular season. She throws 91 to 93. No worries, Kazami. No worries. Yeah, it's when the crowd flares up. They're like really rambunctious today. So I'll try to talk over them. Oh my gosh. What pitch cam is that? That is a custom-made pitch cam. You can use the FOV, field of view slider, or controlling abilities when you go into like the 3D editor, and you can increase or decrease. That was actually a decrease. That's a 20 or a 15 field of view. And you can make it look more like really zoomed in and just on the pitcher and hitter like they do in real life. So you can make that up in the 3D editor tool if you'd like to. All right, so Bosworth here in the bottom of the first against the Virginia Beach Captains, Moonbeam, Murray, and Peters. We'll be starting off the bottom of the first here. Abbott has a grounder over to short. Star Moonbeam is really fast, but they get her out. Nicely done right there by McCoy to get this really speedy Star Moonbeam out over at first base. Naomi Murray's had a good season as well, but she'll strike out on the changeup down and in. Nice pitch right there by Bosworth. Going tit for tat with Abbott. And she strikes out two people, so both pitchers get the ground outs and then double back-to-back strikeouts to end their innings. So it'll be Mikey Thomas up against Earl Abbott in the top of the second inning here. Yeah, Abbott's got Bosworth has a bit of a weird pitching motion. Oh, and that's a strikeout on a full count to Mikey Thomas. Good job right there by Abbott to get a very dangerous hitter of Mikey Thomas out. Now it's going to be up to Unger, I believe. No, LeBeau. And he whips on the changeup. So another strikeout for Earl Abbott. Earl Abbott looking good so far. 4 strikeouts. Make that 5. Earl Abbott strikes out the side here in the top of the second inning. And we'll go to the bottom of the second. Bosworth back up. Guerrero, Middleton, and Rollins. Guerrero shoots it out towards center. It's going to go up against the wall. It's going to be extra bases. He goes for second base. He's going to hold there. He is. He slides into second base. A double for Vladdy. And Vladdy's in scoring position now for Samuel Middleton, the .333 hitting catcher for the Captains. And he plunks it out to right. It's going to fall. That'll be a single. Around third, probably coming home is Vladdy, and he will score, sliding in head first. Yeah, the animations don't really show the earlier late swings, unless they're like really confused and they were expecting an Eva's pitch. I don't remember what Abbott has in terms of pitches. So the Virginia Beach Captains take a 1-0 lead, and the Nobles, as everyone woohoos against the Nobles losing. That's just so sad. But with an RBI single taking second base was Middleton, so they'll have a runner on second base. One man down after the strikeout there to Jimmy Rollins. Cliff Lloyd up next. And he'll strike out too. So Bosworth comes back with back-to-back strikeouts. She has 4 now. J.D. Epps grounds it over to the third baseman. Deep in the hole is the third baseman. Fires across the diamond. Nice leaping grab by the first baseman. And that will retire the side. The Virginia Beach Captains, though, score 1 on the back-to-back doubles. Vladdy and Samuel Middleton combining to score 1 run. And they'll take a 1-0 lead here in the top of the third. Reese Worthington, Will Smith, and Tiffany Bosworth, the pitcher. Reese hits it out to shallow center. On comes center fielder, makes the grab. And Moonbeam with that speed makes it look easy. Will Smith, the right fielder, up next. Plops it into center. Moonbeam won't be able to get that one. It'll be the first hit of the day for the Nobles. Runner on first base, which means Tiffany Bosworth. Chance to be able to probably bunt the person over. Nope, she'll try to swing and miss. And it's a strikeout. Number 6 of the day for Abbott at this point. They'll leave it up to McCoy. The shortstop for the Nobles. They're going to pick off over at first base. And I can't tell if they got them. No, it's a bad throw by the catcher, and Smith will advance to second. Sorry we couldn't get that on camera there, folks. The camera person was asleep at the wheel. But a bad throw by Middleton, and Murray can't reel in the errant throw. It goes into right field. Guerrero backs it up, but Smith takes second on the attempted pickoff. And it'll now be a runner on second base for the leadoff hitter McCoy. He'll dump it into right field. Vladdy gets it. They're going to try to send the runner home. No, just taking third base is Smith. So they're going to have runners on first and third. Yes, that's my favorite one too, Captain Toledo. When the first baseman literally could just walk over and he just waits there, and it's like, just take it yourself. Just take it yourself. And you're just sitting there screaming at your monitor, like, why are you not taking the ball to the plate? Like, come on, seriously. Oh, those are great. Stephanie Morgan, runner on first and third here. Earl Abbott in a little bit of trouble here in the top of the third for the Virginia Beach Captains. Let's see if Stephanie can get something done. Grounds it over to the third baseman, over to first with the throw. Nicely done, and the Virginia Beach Captains get out of the jam. So the Captains get out of the jam here in the top of the third. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Abbott, the pitcher, up first. We'll have Abbott, Moonbeam, and Murray here in the bottom of the third against Bosworth. And Abbott's going to lace a single into center field. Found a fastball. No, it was a slider. Slider that he liked. And that'll put him on first base in front of Star Moonbeam. As the crowd starts to get into it a little bit here, Moonbeam pops it out into shallow left center. It'll fall for a single. That's not good. You got the dangerous Star Moonbeam now over on first base. Naomi Murray's got a chance here to be able to drive some runs in. Runner on first and second. Nobody out. She grounds it over to the first baseman. They get the speedy Star Moonbeam out at second, but they can't make the throw back to first. Nicely done right there by Moonbeam to break up that double play attempt by the first baseman LeBeau and McCoy. And that'll leave runners on first and third for Greg Peters. A .345 batting average, 12 home run, 36 RBI slugger for the Virginia Beach Captains. Has runners on first and third. He's going to shoot a single out in the center field. That'll score another run. Around second, heading for third is Murray. And Murray will end up on third base, and it's now 2-0 Virginia Beach Captains. Vlad Guerrero had a double in the bottom of the second. Bosworth not doing good. He shoots it out towards right, up against the warning track area. Catch is made, but it'll score Murray, who tags easily from third base. So another run scores, and it's 3-0. 3-0 Captains. Bosworth not looking like the best choice at this point, chat. Samuel Middleton up next. Peters on first base. 2 men down, and that's the final out of the inning as he goes down swinging. So Bosworth gets out of the inning, but gives up 2 runs on the single and the sacrifice fly. It could have been a lot worse, but you're still down 3-0, and you got a lot to work up to. Tanya Uchida up against Earl Abbott. Up next, Mikey Thomas, and then LeBeau. Uchida will fly out to center field. On comes the center fielder. Makes the grab. Moonbeam makes it look easy. Bosworth being let down by her fielding. I don't know. I thought that McCoy was a pretty decent shortstop. I feel like as if she's gotten hit all over the park, unfortunately. Earl Abbott pitching to Mikey Thomas. He's going to ground it over to the first baseman. Nice play, but the first baseman dug it out of the ground. That was a hard shot right there. And that'll retire Mikey Thomas. Leaving it up to Eric, the first baseman for the Nobles. He's going to shoot this down the line in right field, but cut off is the right fielder. It'll be a single at least, but that could have been more. But a nice job right there by the right fielder, Guerrero, to get to that ball quickly and get it back in. Yeah, I don't know why the pitchers have the ball in their arms instead of their gloves. It might be because I have different sized player models or something. I know that if you change the player model sizes, the ball doesn't really adjust to the same size. Plus, if you change the ball size, that can also adjust some things too. So I'm guessing they made it designed for one type of player model size and ball size, and I just don't have that setup right now. Triangle is up next. At this point, runner on first base. 2 men down here in the top of the 4th. Good opportunity here. He smacks it out into right center field. That's going to be a double at least. Everybody's on the move with 2 men down. Here comes, they're not going to have a play the plate. No, they're going to hold him at third base though. All right, so it's a double. 2-out double there for Isosceles Triangle, leaving it up to Reese Worthington to be able to score these runs in against Earl Abbott. 2 men down here in the top of the 4th. Noble's threatening. Reese is going to pop it up on the infield, though. Third baseman takes charge, and that will retire the side. Still 3-0 as the Virginia Beach Captains manage to dismantle the comeback attempt. Yeah, it's still much better than the little dots or the pawns, the little wooden little thingies that they used to have on the field. Nice strikeout right there by Bosworth to take down Rollins. That's his second strikeout to Rollins in the game so far. And Cliff Floyd continues the trend with another person with 2 strikeouts at this point. That's 7 now for Bosworth. That'll leave it up to J.D. Epps, who's going to fly it out really high to the right fielder. Coming in, makes the grab, and that will retire the side. Nice comeback inning there for Bosworth. Gets the 2 strikeouts, the easy pop fly with no pitches extra added. That'll mean that she'll be able to go a couple more innings. Earl Abbott's now up to 61 pitches so far for the day. Will Smith, the pitcher spot, and then McCoy. Back around to the top of the order will going. Smith is going to strike out on a 1-2 fastball down low. Well done right there by Abbott. Tiffany Bosworth, the pitcher, coming up next. And she'll strike out as well. Abbott getting the strikeouts in now at the bottom half of the order. That's 8 now for Abbott. And that'll leave it up to the top of the order with McCoy. He'll shoot out towards the shortstop. Rollins picks it up, fires over. And that will be the side. So no runs, no hits, no errors. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th, my apologies. Virginia Beach Captains are still up 3-0. Good place to be in playoffs right now. You've got your best pitcher on the mound, and you're feeling comfortable with a 3-0 lead right now. So Bosworth pitches to Abbott, gets him to strike out. That's her 8th strikeout of the day now. And we'll go to the top of the order for the Virginia Beach Captains. Moonbeam up first. 298 batting average for the season. Was definitely one of the speedier people. And she'll strike out on a full count. Fastball down low. Nice pitch right there by Bosworth. Strikeout number 9 for the day for Bosworth. She's now at 72 pitches, which is quite comfortable for her. And it'll be down to Naomi. Naomi, the last person touching for the inning here, and she'll strike out. So it was a strikeout of the side for Tiffany Bosworth, proving that the Queens Nobles still have their ace pitcher on the mound. And not to be questioned about that. And that'll leave it up to the offense for the Queens Nobles. They got to get something started here. 76 pitches for Earl Abbott. Probably got at least another 3 innings out of him at this point. He might be able to go 8. Stephanie Morgan's going to shoot it out towards the hole, but the third baseman's there to make the grab. Fires it over to first base, and Epps made that look easy right about there. Uchida up next. Good bunter, good power hitter right here. Batted .312 for the season. Abbott kicking and dealing. Fans her on the nice pitch right there. A 1-2 fastball. Strikeout number 9. Number 9 for Earl Abbott as it's down to Mikey Thomas. Mikey Thomas again, the slugger. Hits it on the ground toward the second baseman. Picks it up, fires the first, and that'll be the inning. So we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th inning as we head into the captain's batting order. Heart of their batting order, in fact. Peters, Guerrero, and Middleton. Going to be able to see if they can put some more runs on top of their 3-run lead here. Peters up first against... Oh, wow, that one right towards his back. So that one clips Peters, unfortunately. He'll take first base. That was an errant fastball. Oh, slider, my apologies. Slider got away from Bosworth, up and in. And it probably just clipped his elbow or something close. Hopefully not a wrist. Vladimir Guerrero up next. Runner on first base at this point. Do you think they repair the boat in center field because of the damage? Yeah, they probably do. I wonder if it's plastic, you know, plastic with like a wrap on it or something to make it look like it's wood. I can see that. Laminate. It's laminate boat. That's what it is. Nicely done right there by Bosworth, getting the Really good Vladimir Guerrero to look at a breaking ball for a strikeout. That was beautiful right there. Samuel Middleton. Looks better with holes in it. looks better with holes. Oh my gosh. All right, Middleton, runner on first base. That's this is the part where we all start to laugh. Ready? Oh my gosh. Okay, it didn't know how to do that. Clearly did not know what it was supposed to do for that play right there. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm not even sure. Okay, so what was it trying to do that it really didn't do a good job of right there? I'm going to need to save this. Hold on. I need to get a Word document up so I can save this. Hold on a second, guys. I literally do need to save this. As person who does tech support, I kind of need to report that one. So if we do a replay so you guys can see this in all of its glory at this point. Middleton was up, hits the ball, down the right field line. It is going to go into the corner. It's going to go into the parking lot. Into the parking lot it goes. Middleton goes around second. He's heading for third. The right fielder doesn't know how to get out of the stadium still. He's going to score on inside the park. Home run sliding in as the ball is next to a Kia Sorento out there. The person with the blue Kia Sorento, you might need a new windshield. Let's just say you might need a new windshield. All right, let me post this. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Yep, there's all my information. Oh my gosh. Either way, Middleton hits what is an inside the park home run. It just wasn't displayed correctly. It probably went down the line, kicked past the outfielder, and a homer inside the park for Samuel Middleton. Oh my gosh. Yes, I have all of the replay information about this because something went seriously wrong. I'm guessing there's probably like a number that's backwards and it's supposed to be down the line, and instead it's down the line into the parking lot was the problem. So I'll get that fixed. Well, I can't get it fixed, but I can get somebody to get it fixed. So, so a two-run homer for Middleton as it scores. I believe that was Greg Peters who scored on that play right there, and it's now 5-0. 5-0 for the Virginia Beach Captains. This is the part where we laugh. Yeah, that's all I could think about was, you know what, this is going to be funny. More like in the concession stands. I mean, I think it went out of the park. I think it went down the tunnel in the right field area, went straight out to the parking lot, and settled next to a Kia Sorento. The blue one, not the red one, by the way. So, you know, the ball definitely has a bias on blue cars. Cliff Floyd may potentially be the last person for this inning at this point. Grounds it over to the shortstop, who is playing on the shift. Throws it over to first base. And that'll be the inning, thank goodness. But we do have the miraculous into the parking lot home run for Samuel Middleton on the inside the park homer that makes the game 5-0 for the Virginia Beach Captains. Technically, we don't show umpires. There are umpires, but we don't show them. You can hear them. If you actually listen, you can hear them calling like strike threes and outs and saves and stuff. But we don't display them on the field because it's just one more model that could potentially start running into like the stands. And it's just a lot of work just to even do an umpire when it's just as easy just to take them off the field. They're robotic umpires, okay? We just have them make noises. All right, Abbott, 87 pitches up against LeBeau, Triangle, and Worthington here in the top of the 7th. That's strikeout number 10 for Earl Abbott. Good job by Earl. He has been masterful today so far. Outside of the one time he had a couple runners in scoring position, he has been perfect. As that one goes down the line in right field, though, not for the homer, unfortunately, but a single for Triangle. And the crowd not happy about that one. They don't want to see a rally here. No rallies. Reese Worthington will strike out on the called 0-2 pitch down in the zone. Number 11 for Earl Abbott. Will Smith up next at this point. Earl Abbott working on 97 pitches, runner on first base. Top of the 7th we are. And that will be strikeout number 12. Yes, his name is Isosceles Triangle. What am I supposed to call him? Try? He's a try-hard. All right. That'll be a new pitcher for the Queens Nobles. I would say the experiment with Bosworth did not work, as Wing Kwan has come in to pitch. I'm surprised they don't bring in their other pitcher just to be able to say this is the end of the world. We're going to throw our best stuff out there, but oh well, I guess Kwan is the next one. Epps, Abbott, and Moonbeam. Supposed to be up here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Out to center it goes. Makes the catch, and a nice job right there with center fielder Worthington to make that out number 1. Earl Abbott up next. Strike 3 called against Abbott, and that'll be out number 2. Well, I'm a little bit suspicious. I'm a little sus about the rest of chat saying not wanting the Nobles to win, and then everyone saying to throw Bosworth. So I think it was backwards logic. I think it was reverse psychology that chat did on me. But oh well. It was still a good decision to throw the ace, but I think it would have been better to have thrown their number 2 pitcher. He has done better. All right, Star Moonbeam. Last person potentially here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Chat's kind of sus. Yes, just a little bit. Oh, that's not what you want to do right there against Star Moonbeam. Moonbeam's on first. Murray's up next. Let's see her run. Nope, no running at all. They're going to have a ground ball in the infield. Pitcher makes the play, fires it over to first. They aren't able to get Star Moonbeam going. And that will be the 3rd out of the inning. How many strikeouts did Bosworth have? I think she had 10 or 11. I was in the vent this entire time? Of course you were. Of course you were. Wait, what do you mean you were in the vent? All right, they're going to let Kwan continue to hit. He's actually not a bad hitter at this point up against Earl Abbott. Earl Abbott at 101 pitches. That is not a 5-run number of strikeouts. It is for Bosworth. A lot of these pitchers will do that. They'll do 12 strikeouts. And I think that was... let me check. Let's find out. Bosworth had 11. 11 strikeouts in 6 innings, but she had 1 home run given up, the inside the park homer, 6 hits, no walks. She just had a lot of moments where she got hit back to back to back with a bunch of hits. So, yeah, that's what happens. All or nothing stuff, people. That's what happens. All right. Yeah, both of these aces here are control pitchers. Both Bosworth and Abbott are both control pitchers with high stuff. So it's all about who gets to the movement of each pitcher. So, yeah, that's where it's just the offenses are more important at that point. All right, so anywho, top of the 8th we go. Earl Abbott, 101 pitches. Chance here to be able to keep going up against the pitcher spot, Wing Kwan, who strikes out for number 13. That is officially our first playoff game, so he's going to be setting the record for strikeouts in a playoff game, which is now 13. And that will be it, unfortunately, for Earl Abbott, as they will call in their relief pitcher, Mickey O'Connor, to pitch here in the top of the 8th inning. They're up by 5, so I don't see why not. McCoy up second, with 1 man down at this point. O'Connor's going to give up a long fly ball down the line in right field, up against the wall. It goes. It's gone! McCoy sails a 388-foot home run down the line in left field, and it's now a 5-1 ball game. And the no way person comes through for finally. All right. Stephanie Morgan, 1 person down here in the top of the 8th inning. The Nobles want to get something started, and they are. Here comes a single up the middle. That'll put Stephanie Morgan on first base. This is not good for the captains. Come on, captains, don't do this to us now. Uchida up next. She's very powerful on the power ability. Great words right there, Alex. But she has a slugging ability. 7 home runs, 22 RBIs, and Mickey O'Connor is not looking very solid. Up the middle to the shortstop. Nicely done. That could be 2. Over to first. And the double play! The Virginia Beach Captains make the really nice double play up the middle on the slow ground ball by Uchida. They get out of the inning. A great play right there by the shortstop and second baseman to turn that. Oh, well done. Well done indeed. All right. Kwan will continue to pitch against Peters, Guerrero, and Middleton here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And I think Peters has put a drive in this one deep right, left center field, and it's gone! Peters, 425 feet to left center field, brings the game back to a 5-run lead for the Captains. Nice solo shot right there by Greg Peters to answer the solo shot in the top of the 8th. And the Captains are not going to put this away quietly at all. They're going to take it big time. Vlad Guerrero up next. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. And that's going to be a 3-0 walk. So a walk to Guerrero brings up Middleton, a runner on first base. That's going to be out to shallow left field, following in front of the left fielder for a single. And that'll put Middleton on first base. Guerrero takes second on the play. Rollins will be up next. Nobody out with 2 men on at this point. And Rollins will walk. Kwan not having a good performance this inning like he was in the last inning. Cliff Floyd up next, 0 for 3 with, I believe, 2 strikeouts so far for the game. He's going to pop it up to the left center field area. Center fielder calls for it, makes the grab. Here's the throw. Coming home to the plate is the throw. Vladdy slides. Nope, doesn't slide. He just simply walks home and gets the run in. Nicely done. The throw was a little bit behind him, and Vlad was able to basically just jog through it. And that will be a sacrifice fly for Cliff Floyd, making it 7-1 now. 9 or 10. Oh, yeah. Yep. We're going to have some better defenders for the next season. I definitely agree on that. All right. J.D. Epps, 1 man down, runner on first and second. He's going to strike out swinging on a fastball. Nicely done right there by Wing. That'll bring it up to the pitcher spot, Mickey O'Connor. Very good hitter. Mickey O'Connor, actually a very good hitter here. 63 power, had a .296 batting average for the season. And he's going to shoot it out towards right field, but the right fielder is right there, makes the grab, and we will head to the top of the 9th. Last chance for the Queens Nobles. Down 7-1 here in this ball game, and they're going to leave Mickey O'Connor to continue to pitch, which I don't think this is a good matchup for Mickey O'Connor right here. Like, this is the one that Mikey just kind of goes, yeah, just put a fastball in the middle, I'll just pop it into center field. But Mikey Thomas up first here in the top of the 9th inning against Mickey O'Connor. They'll be seeing Eric LeBeau and then Isosceles trying. And they get him swinging on the curveball. Thomas has been neutralized for the ball game. A great way to keep their best hitter at bay. That'll leave it up to LeBeau and Triangle, the last 2 batters potentially for this ball game. And they're not going to go down quietly. That's a single to center. Good little start right there for the Queens Nobles. They've got a runner on first. Mickey O'Connor working here in the top of the 9th. 1 man down, runner on first base. Could really use a double play right about here. He's got a slow runner at the plate, but the runner at the plate has also got a lot of power. Over to first it goes. They'll take the tag. They'll take the fielder's choice. All right. So they did supposedly toss the ball over to second to try to get the runner out at second base, but the tag was too late. They just didn't show it. I don't know why they didn't show it. But they did try to turn the play right there by Murray, going over to shortstop, but Rollins was not able to get LeBeau, who was speedy going down the line. So, or going towards second base. So they will have a runner on second base, 2 men down, up for Reese Worthington, the last potential batter here for the Queens Nobles. 2 men down. Mickey O'Connor working here in the top of the 9th. Out towards right or left field. It'll fall, though. That'll be a single. They'll leave the runner at third, though. I don't know why you don't send him right there, but they weren't able to send LeBeau. Probably, I don't even know why you just don't send him there. But they'll have runners on first and third now, with Will Smith coming to bat here in the top of the 9th. Mickey O'Connor now at 26 pitches. I mean, bases aren't loaded yet, but they're close. That's a strikeout! And your Virginia Beach Captains have won the first round of the Backyard Project playoffs. Congratulations to the Captains celebrating on the field as they win 7-1 over the Queens Nobles. A good matchup right there. A good pitcher's duel until about the third inning and the sixth inning were pretty bad for the Nobles. I feel like their offense just never got anything started against Abbott, who pitched a marvelous 7 1/3 innings, 13 strikeouts. Bosworth did fine for 11 strikeouts and 6 innings pitched. That's pretty good. But she just let up a few hits back to back that resulted in most of the runs. And then of course the inside the park homer down the line. That's going to be hard to prevent if your fielders can't do stuff like that. And then Quan just giving up the solo homer and then the sacrifice fly. I think they had 2 sac flies in this game. So, yeah, I'm surprised they didn't send him home. It might be because... I wonder if it's because LeBeau is like, he's a little slow, but he's not, like, super duper slow. I would have sent him, personally. But, that being said, Cliff Floyd... I mean, his arm's pretty good. So, yeah, the last thing you want to do is send the runner home and have that be your final out. Like... In all honesty, that would be like a really bad way to go for playoffs, especially. That would be really, 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 really bad to have that happen. So anyways, the Virginia Beach Captains will be advancing on to round 2. We're going to need to give them a day off, though, because all of their pitchers are going to be tired otherwise. Let me just make sure that I can see that. Yeah, because I got to get Mickey O'Connor back to rested. They're going to be throwing with Sarsis for game number 2 at this point, and the Downey Ducks are going to have an interesting decision to make at this point. Do the Ducks throw green? Do they throw green or do they wait? Because if they throw green against the Apollos, they'd be able to have green against the Kings. If they win. Well, they have to win. Well, they'd have to win 3 games, and then they'd have Jay Green against the Memphis Kings. Be Jay Green versus Leo Wayne at that point. I like that personally much better. But you do have to get past the captains. So chat, while I get some water, who should the Ducks be throwing in this game? They have Nancy Chin as their number 2 starter, and they have Jay Green as their number 1 starter. Who should they throw? So let me get some water. I'm going to reschedule this game so it's the next day. I can do that. I'm allowed to. There we go. Go to today, please. I need to schedule. Should the Ducks have home field advantage as well? You are right, and they do. They do have home field advantage. So let me see if I can move this game to tomorrow. So it's supposed to be the Virginia Beach Captains versus the Downey Ducks in a playoff game. All right. And that should do that. Tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the day. Everyone's saying, we have 1 vote for Nancy Chin, 2 votes for Nancy Chin, 2 votes for Jay Green. No, 1 vote for Jay Green. They should really save Jay Green for the next game. I have to agree. I think they need to save Jay Green for the next day. They just really, really badly need to. The opposing pitcher is going to be Jessica Wasarsis. This is the number 2 starter for the Virginia Beach Captains. She had a 4.34 ERA. Let me go ahead and compare both of the 2 starters. That way you guys can see what we're looking at. What it would be. I'll show you guys both of the Ducks starters so you can see the examples of the 2 people we're looking at. And I'm just going to do their stats. I'm not going to do their ratings because their ratings mean nothing in playoffs. So, go ahead and take a look at these 2 people. Let me know who you guys want to see started. I'll get some water. We'll be right back and we'll get into game number 2. So give me just 1 second, guys, and we'll get right back to this. All right, I am back. So let's see what chat says. I see a lot of Jay Greens. Pitch Jay Green all 4 games. Unfortunately, they can't pitch Jay Green all 4 games. There's not enough time in between the games to be able to give him rest. So what's it gonna be, chat? Are we gonna go with Jay Green or are we gonna go with Nancy Chin? Let me see. How many votes do we have now officially? Let's see. What do we have? Oh, come on. Come on, OBS. Maybe, let me see chat. 1 for Nancy Chin. You play to win the season. So Ducks home field advantage, they do. Number 2, and Chin is good. So I'd say Chin. 2 for Chin, 1 for Green. Chin for Tim. Oh, Tim Gross has already voted. Jay Green, Chin, Green, Chin. 5-3, 6 for Chin. Let's find out about that. Is it better versus a righty or a lefty? Because you are right. We do have a left-handed pitching Nancy Chin versus a right-handed pitching Jay Green. So, playoff coverage-wise, of course, Jay Green had a very good performance against the Virginia Beach Captains in the 1 game that he threw against them. We're going to be seeing a lot of, I believe, righties. Technically, Peters is switch. Moonbeam is left. Abbott's right. Guerrero's right. Murray's right. Middleton is left. Epps is right. Cliff Lloyd's left. O'Connor's a righty, and Rollins is a switchy. So they've got 2 switch hitters. So unfortunately, I don't think it really matters if they're right-handed or left-handed. If it's a bunch of righties and pitch Green, I could see that. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Green, but oh man, that sets you up to see. Here's the problem, guys. If they throw Green in game number 1, they will have to throw Chin against the Apollos, which is most likely going to be Pedro Martinez. Then they throw Green against the Whistlers, which would be good. You'd want Green against the Whistlers and Abinduct. But then you'd be throwing Chin against Leah Wayne. And I don't know if that's the best option, but I think I'd rather have Green against Abinduct than Green against Wayne. I know that sounds kind of silly, but I would really rather have my best pitcher going up against the best pitcher in the league, which is Abinduct. He is by far the best pitcher in the league. Like, you need Green against Abinduct. So I think we throw Green against the Captains. I think we resort to throwing Green here, hoping that our offense wins against the Apollos, and then putting Green up against the Windsor Whistlers, forcing the Whistlers to throw their ace. Because I feel like you can beat the Apollos and Pedro a lot easier than you can beat the Whistlers and Abinduct. I don't know why. I know Pedro's been really good as well. Like, Pedro's really, really good, but he doesn't scare me as much as Abinduct does. Well, that's the thing. If the Whistlers want to save Abinduct for game number 2, and we throw Jay Green in game number 1, they'll lose. Because their number 2 pitcher is Maria Luna. And Jay Green would demolish Maria Luna. Like, they would easily win that. So, if we try to play our cards right, we would force the Whistlers to throw Abinduct in game number 1 against us. Plus, if we win the game today, the Apollos might play their number 2 starter tomorrow. Because they realize that we're playing our number 2 starter tomorrow. And they wouldn't mind that. So if we throw Ace out here, the Apollos may not throw Pedro tomorrow. They may throw Screwball because they want to save Pedro for Abinduct. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think the Apollos want to throw Screwball against Abinduct or Maria Luna. So either way, do we play for today or do we play for tomorrow? That's going to be the question, ladies and gentlemen. Do we throw Chin or do we throw Jay Green? Green versus Houston, Memphis makes sense. I mean, yeah, I feel like that's the correct call, is to throw Chin here, win this game, trust your offense, and then hope and pray that you get to game number 2 and you throw Jay Green against the Apollos and eventually Memphis. But that means we have to have Chin pitch 2 games and win both of those games, and I don't know. I think Chin is reasonably better than the starter she's facing. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is basically, do we want to guarantee our punch to the next round with Jay Green, or do we want to leave a little bit more to chance with Nancy Chin? That is the only day there is right now. Yeah, play for today. So either team would play number 2. Yeah, I think the problem is that either team, once you get to the Abinduct game on round 4, if the Whistlers don't throw Abinduct, you're safe. But if anybody saves their ace in rounds 2 or 3 to play against the Whistlers are going to throw Abinduct game number 1. Because they just want to get into the finals. That's all they want to do. They'd prefer to have Abinduct for the finals, but they trust Luna. They trust Luna enough, I think. So the problem is just, do we want to see if we can make the Apollos throw the number 2 starter if we throw our number 1 starter today? Would they be okay with that? And then you'd throw number 1, you'd throw your ace against Abinduct? Because that would force the Whistlers to throw their ace in game number 1. If we can leave Jay Green for round 4. So if we threw Jay Green here, we could throw Jay Green against the Whistlers, which would be cool. And that would force them to play Abinduct, because otherwise they'd lose. So I think that's the answer. I think the answer is you play Jay Green here, and then you hope and pray the Apollos play their number 2 starter, and not their ace. I mean, you don't have any choice. At that point, you're playing Chin against the Apollos. And you're hoping and praying they throw their number 2 pitcher, which they're probably not going to, but if they don't throw their number 2 pitcher and you win, then you get your ace against the Whistlers. But if the Apollos throw their number 1 pitcher, they're shooting for the Kings, and they'll lose to the Whistlers if the Whistlers throw their ace. So the Apollos are in a tight spot where they don't want to throw their ace if the Whistlers are going to throw their ace, but if the Ducks, if they lose to the Ducks or Captains, whoever wins, that's going to be a problem. They won't get that far. So, yeah, I think a lot of the incentives for a lot of teams is they need to get to the Kings game, but they need to throw their aces to be able to get there. So, be player ace versus the King. Yeah, that's kind of the incentive. The incentive is to trust your team's offense. You're going to get to finals. Make sure your best pitcher is ready to go for finals. That's the incentive. That's what everyone's trying to shoot for. So if that's the case, we don't throw Green today. But the good news is that doesn't mean that Green isn't playing. Green hits. So I think that's the answer. I think I'm going to flip-flop. I think we throw Chin today. I think we throw Chin. We trust that Wasarsis is not that good of a pitcher. We throw Nancy Chin, and we rely on our offense and defense to be able to score runs. Unfortunately, the game does not throw aces out of the pen. Unfortunately, because of the fact that we're going to be on like 2 days short rest, most of the aces, so for example, Abbott actually is 100% rested, which is actually surprising. I didn't think he'd be 100% rested at this point. He shouldn't be 100% rested. I don't know why he is, but most aces should not be ready. Like if I go to their bullpen, O'Connor's at 69%. That's what their ace should be at like 30% rested. Like not even ready to go yet. Yeah, the problem is that the Apollos are going to be throwing Pedro because they want to have Pedro versus the Kings. But they might lose against the Whistlers if they throw Pedro in game number 1. So you can throw Green and then hope and pray that Houston doesn't throw Pedro. Because if they throw Pedro against Nancy Chin, you're pretty much screwed. Which is why I would prefer to throw Nancy Chin here and then have Jay Green against the Apollos and Kings. But again, this is you relying on the Whistlers to not throw Abinduct game number 1. Yeah, is there anybody on the captains, actually? Because, I mean, the captains are throwing Wasarsis. That has to be the case. Like, Earl Abbott should not be ready to go. I don't know why he's actually ready to go. He shouldn't be. I don't know why he's fully rested. That should not be the case. But anywho, is anybody on the Ducks? I mean, Supernova's on the Ducks. I think Linus Riverboat is also on the Ducks. I think that's another player-created person at that point. I think there's only like a couple people on the Ducks that are actually users. So I don't even know if the Ducks have anybody here as a representative. As the representative of the Memphis Kings, they should throw Jason Giambi. All right. Final decisions. Are we going with Jay Green or Nancy Chin? What are we going to do, guys? What are we going to do? Final votes. Cast your final votes. Do we save Jay Green for the Apollos and Kings and trust Chin to win this ball game? Green, Chin, Chin. Only thing that makes sense is if Chin. I'm guessing that's supposed to be is Chin. And then back to Green. Go Chin. I mean, yeah, you're kind of, at that point, you're hoping and praying that Chin does not go up against Abinduct. You're hoping and praying that the Windsor Whistlers save Abinduct for the finals. Yeah, because the Whistlers have no intention of playing Abinduct if they can get an easy win and then throw Abinduct in the finals. That's their whole entire approach. So, I think it's almost a split vote, but I see just like one or two more Chin votes. So it's going to be Nancy Chin. And there's a straw poll. That's great. Hold on, let me open it up so I can see what you guys think. I mean, I'm voting Chin. I think Chin is the choice here. You have to trust your offense. I think you trust your offense. You hope and pray it goes well. I think it's just barely gonna be Chin. Let me see. Let's see what the vote looks like. Who are we thinking? Chin or Green, guys? Chin or Green? I'm seeing about a 60-40 split for Chin. Yep, about a 60-40 split for Chin. All right, it's going to be Chin, guys. We will take the risk. As the Downey Ducks, we will take the risk. So it will be Nancy Chin versus Jessica Wasarsis. This is going to be a big game right about here, folks. All right, the Downey Ducks are 13-4 at home. And the Virginia Beach Captains are 11-6 on the road. So the Ducks love it when they are home. They have one of the best pitching staffs with Jay Green, Nancy Chin, and a couple of really good relief pitchers to back them up. They're going to be looking for a lot of offense from Pete Wheeler, Jay Green himself, of course, Stan Olofsson, Jason Giambi, Todd Helton, and Barry Larkin. Supernova, of course, on the list as well. And let's see what happens, guys. Game number 2 of our playoffs is going to be Nancy Chin and Jessica Wasarsis facing off in round number 2. We'll be at Downey Stadium, which is going to be, what is it called? Hadlock Field. And we'll see how this goes. All right. So we're looking at the lineups that look like this. Star Moon being, of course, back in center field for the captains. We're going to be seeing Naomi Murray, Greg Peters, Vladimir Guerrero, Samuel Middleton, Jimmy Rollins, Cliff Floyd, J.D. Epps, and the new pitcher for the captains in round number 2 is Jessica Wasarsis. This is seed number 4 versus seed number 5, I think. Second game. We had the first game, the Nobles lost to the captains at Captains Stadium. For your Downey Ducks, we will be seeing Pete Wheeler, Supernova, Jay Green, who will be batting third instead of pitching, Jason Giambi in left field, Barry Larkin at shortstop, Todd Helton, Stan Olofsson, Linus Riverboat, and on the mound, the left-handed pitching, left-handed hitting, Nancy Chin. Yeah, the locals call it the pond. Absolutely. All right, let's jump into this. We are doing all of the games today, so we're trying to do all of the games and just run through them. So we'll see if that actually happens or not. We're already an hour into it. We've only gotten through one game, but we're going to start mowing through stuff here pretty soon, guys. All right. Nancy Chin against Jessica Wasarsis. Top of the first we go. Moonbeam, Murray, Peters here at Hadlock Field, a.k.a. The Pond. And that's going to be a walk. A bad start for the Ducks. That is not good. Moonbeam on at first base. That's hit out towards center. It's going to be a deep one up against the wall. It's going to be an extra base hit. Around third. Oh, they're going to hold Moonbeam at third base. Wow. So, a great double right there by Murray to get the runners in scoring position, and that'll bring it up to Greg Peters. This could be over very, very quickly if we're not careful. This Nancy Chin decision may be a bad idea, guys. How do you make it look like this in the game? You can adjust all of your camera angles in the 3D editor. So you can increase or decrease the FOV filters, lower down the cameras, change the angles, everything. And then you can save those in your 3D models. And you can then watch the games with those updated camera angles and everything else. All right, well, we were aware this was going to be a slugfest, guys. This was not going to be an aces pitching game. This is going to be a slugfest, so they have to score runs. Greg Peters up in the top of the first. Down the line it goes. It's going to be a single. Might score two. Nope, scores just the one run. Greg Peters has an RBI single for the Virginia Beach Captains, and it's 1-0. 1-0 in the top of the first. Runners on first and third. That's a strikeout to Vlad Guerrero. And there's now one person down in the inning. The game should probably be decided by a race between Moonbeam and Wheeler. Yes. Yes, just have the two leadoff center fielders just fly down the line and see who gets the first base first. That's literally going to be the game. All right. Samuel Middleton had a good day yesterday against the Nobles. Chin strikes him out on a fastball. Nicely done by Nancy Chin. She's got a chance to get out of the inning now. Jimmy Rollins is up next. Runners on first and third, 2 men down. Nancy Chin wheels and deals. They're going to pick off the person back at first. Peters belly flops, but he is safe. Almost had him. Peters on first base, dusting himself off. Rollins steps back in. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Rollins, and he's going to pop it out towards center. Out goes center fielder. Pete Wheeler can't make the grab. Even the speed of Pete Wheeler can't make it. It'll go up against the wall for a double, and that'll score another run. Rollins doubles, and it's now a 2-0 game. And in regards to the question about FHM 7, they're still working on it. I don't have details beyond that, I'm afraid. You'll have to ask the developers on their next stream. I don't know why they didn't send the runners there, but they did hold up Peters at third base, and it'll be second and third, 2 men down. Nancy Chin trying to get out of the inning. Grounded over to first base. Helton makes the play, fires it over to Nancy Chin, and that will finally get the Downey Ducks out of the inning. Virginia Beach scores 2 runs in the top of the first, and the Ducks are going to have to come back from that. Pete Wheeler up first. That audio is way too silent, but he pops it up on the infield, and that's the first out of the inning. Supernova up next. I don't know why I'm seeing playoff numbers, but Supernova batted .266 for the season, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, 12 walks, 35 strikeouts. Wasarsis wheeling and dealing. That'll be a single. Up the middle it goes, landing in front of the center fielder. Yep, Chin should be happy only allowing 2 runs on that inning right there. Did not do a good job. So a single for Nova brings up Jay Green. The .292 batting, 8 home runs, 27 RBIs. Jay Green. He had a 2 for 3 performance against Wasarsis. The first time he faced off against her, had a home run as well. That's a ground ball in the infield, though. Jay Green is fast. No play for the infielders as Jay Green, in his really good speed, gets to first base. It'll be an infield single for Jay Green. And that'll bring it up Jason Giambi. 1 for 3 against Wasarsis in his first time in their first game. 1 man down, runner on first and second. Grounded over to the first baseman. Over to second they go, but the good speed of Jay Green upsets the double play chance. It'll put runners on first and third. Barry Larkin up next. He was 1 for 3 as well against Wasarsis. Wasarsis wants to get out of the inning. No runs. That'd be nice for her. Barry Larkin pops it out towards center. It might fall, and it is going to fall. It'll be a single for Barry Larkin. He'll stay at first. Runner goes to third, though. No throw to third base by Moonbeam, as that means that Giambi takes third base, and it'll leave it up to Todd Helton. Helton was 0 for 2 against Wasarsis, but I think he had a walk. And we'll see what happens here against Wasarsis versus Helton. 2 men down, runner on first and third. They're inching people around, and that's a pop-up to the catcher. So the Ducks get 1 run back. They could have gotten 2. They could have matched up against the Virginia Beach Captains, but they will have to resort to just having the 1 run. Nancy Chin, 30 pitches already. J.D. Epps up that first. He launches it at the left field. This high, it is deep, it is gone. 399 feet for J.D. Epps. A solo shot here in the top of the second inning. And the Captains push their lead back out to 2 runs. Wasarsis, the pitcher, up next. Nancy Chin not having a good start so far, as that's called strike 3 on the backdoor slider right about there. Nicely done for the first out of the inning. Star Moonbeam up next. The speedster behind the plate. Pops it down the line and left. In comes the left fielder. I think that's Giambi. Makes the grab. Had to dig all the way for it. But a nice play right there. All right. Naomi Murray is potentially the last person for the inning at this point. 2 men down. Chin wheels and deals in the dirt. It's a strikeout, but they get her on the throw down to first base. Riverboat makes the play look easy, being able to dig it out of the dirt, fire it over to first base, and they will retire the side. So 3 men up, 3 men down, outside, of course, of the solo homer to Epps, which was the first batter. So it's 3-1. 3-1 Virginia Beach Captains. Downey Ducks have got their work cut out for them still. Olofsson, Riverboat, and Chin up here in the bottom of the second inning, and that's a strikeout for Wasarsis. Nicely done against Olofsson right there. Very nice slider, backdoor slider approach and everything. Brilliant pitch. Linus Riverboat, the catcher, up next. He's going to strike out swinging on a fastball from Wasarsis. And that'll leave it down to Nancy Chin, the pitcher. Chin's got some pop as she plunks it out towards center, but the center fielder, Star Moonbeam, is there. Makes it look easier, tires aside, and we'll head to the top of the third. 3-1 here in the top of the third. Downey Ducks need to have some pretty good pitching performances from Nancy Chin the rest of the way here. They can't be giving up any more runs. Ground ball over to the third baseman, fires it over to first base. That'll be the first out of the inning, as Peters is retired, I believe. Vlad Guerrero up next, 1 man down here on the top of the third. That's hit well towards center. On the run is Pete Wheeler. This has been pretty usual, but a nice grab. He gets this one. Pete Wheeler makes a spectacular leaping grab in center field. Well done right there by Pete Wheeler. Showing off the speed and the glove as he makes a extra base hit saving catch in center field. Well done. Well done indeed. Middleton, 2 men down here in the top of the third, or top of the fourth, I believe. Wheeler coming in this time. He's going to do a headfirst dive. It's the Pete Wheeler show, folks. Pete Wheeler takes away 2 base hits, 1 of them extra base hits, as the Downey Ducks congratulate him going back into the dugout. Oh, brilliant plays by Pete Wheeler right about there. A double robbery. Wow. Oh, showing off the speed a little bit there, Pete. Slow down. Wasarsis a little bit shaken by that. Let's see if the Downey Ducks can capitalize on the momentum shift now. Pete Wheeler up first here. Grounds it over to the shortstop, fires it over to first base. They get the speedy Pete Wheeler out, though. Rollins knew he had to get that ball over there fast, and he did. Supernova up next against Wasarsis. She had a hit in the first inning, I believe, but she'll strike out swinging on the changeup here. Wasarsis has come back with a passion, getting the first 2 people out here in this inning. Jay Green up next. Always a dangerous hitter. He flies it out to right down the line, though. This should be an easy play for the right fielder, who makes the grab, and that will retire the side. So, the great plays in the top of the third go Unfortunately, they don't mean anything to the Ducks as they go 1-2-3 quietly in the bottom of the third. We'll head to the fourth inning. Rollins, Floyd, and Epps against Nancy Chin. Chin's up to 59 pitches. She will not go very long in this ball game. Out to right field it goes, down the line. Nicely done right there by the right fielder Olafson. After it, makes the grab, and that's a fly ball out against Rollins. Cliff Floyd up next. Lefty on lefty, Chin's advantage here. He smacks one out to right field, though. It's well hit. He gets it all. Cliff Floyd, 429 feet, and it's a 4-1 ball game. Cliff Floyd has solo homered off of our Ducks starting pitcher, Nancy Chin. And that's not good. Nancy Chin was hoping for an easy inning here, but a Cliff Floyd solo shot means that she's given up now 4 home runs in the ball game. All of them, I believe, solo home runs. Really, has it always been solo homers the entire game? Is that the truth? No, 2 home runs. 2 of them were from the previous ball game. Okay, I was about to say, we haven't had 4 homers, have we? No. But yeah, Nancy Chin not having a good time. That's a strike 3 called against Epps, though. So Epps and Floyd have had the home runs, but then we've had a couple doubles as well, and that's been the major run-scoring positions for the Virginia Beach Captains. Wasarsis up next. She'll strike out, and that will finally end the inning. But another solo homer given up by the Ducks, the second of the game. This time to Cliff Floyd means they're down now 4-1. Jason Giambi up first here in the bottom of the 4th inning against Wasarsis. Wasarsis is at 41 pitches so far. That's to the first baseman. Nice play by Murray. Steps on the bag, and Giambi is out. Nice pick right there by Murray, making it look easy. Barry Larkin up next. He's going to smack it out towards right field. Down the line it's going. Right fielder makes the grab, makes it look easy. Guerrero had to dig hard for that one, but he makes the grab and retires Barry Larkin. Todd Helton up next, the first baseman for the Ducks. He's going to strike out, and Wasarsis in full control here in game number 2, or round number 2 of this playoffs. And the Virginia Beach Captains will have a 4-1 lead heading into the 5th. Chin against the top of the order. Moonbeam up first, grounds it over to the second baseman. Oh, over to first they go. Oh, a little bit off on the throw there, but they still get the play. Green makes it look easy on the speedy Moonbeam. Murray up next. Nancy Chin wants a quick inning if possible. Over to first base. Todd Helton makes the play. Retires his counterpart first baseman, and that'll be the second out of the inning. Greg Peters, 1 for 2 so far for the day. Had the RBI back, I believe, in the first inning. And he'll strike out swinging on a beautiful, I believe that was a circle changeup or a changeup, I think. Or was that a curveball? That was a curveball down almost in the dirt. Nicely done right there by Nancy Chin to get out of that inning as quickly as possible. So Wasarsis will be here in the bottom of the 5th. Stan Olafson, Riverboat, and Nancy Chin. The bottom half of the order. Olafson grounds it over to third. They fire it over to first base. Makes it look easy, does Epps. And an easy first out of the inning. Riverboat, the catcher, up next for the Ducks. He's going to plunk it out towards second baseman. Second baseman's there. Fires over to first. And that's the second out. That was a much deeper at bat right there. 8 pitches against Riverboat. But Nancy Chin is the last person potentially for the inning. Wasarsis wheeling and dealing. And that's going to be a 5-pitch walk. So Wasarsis issues, I believe, her first walk of the game. That'll bring up Pete Wheeler with a runner on first base. Pete will put it on the ground towards the shortstop, over to first. And that will retire the side, though. So they've been able to keep Pete Wheeler off the bags as well. And that's been a good start because Nova, Green, and Giambi are very good hitters. You don't want to get people on base in front of them. Nancy Chin at 85 pitches here in the top of the 6th inning. Teams have quieted down a little bit now. Guerrero up first here in the top of the 5th. Or no, top of the 6th, I'm sorry. And that's a swinging strikeout for Chin. Nicely done. Number 8 for Nancy Chin. Samuel Middleton up next, the catcher for the Captains. And that'll be a single as it goes right into the Bermuda Triangle in right center field. So a single, 1-out single for Middleton brings up Jimmy Rollins. Middleton over at first base. Rollins is going to put it out towards left. That'll also fall. Back-to-back singles for the Captains. Put runners on first and second base. 1 man down. And that will be it for Nancy Chin. So the experiment of trying to have the number 2 pitcher may have backfired completely in the Ducks' favor, as they have to bring in Robbie Budd, their middle relief pitcher, who has done fairly well, actually, for them over the course of the regular season. Only a 4.55 ERA, 40 strikeouts, 8 walks, 6 home runs, 25 hits in 29 innings pitched. Cliff Floyd will be the first person he has to face, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that D-backs Giants game, too. I'm wondering what they're exactly going to be doing at 10:05, though. Cliff Floyd, runner on first and second, 1 man down. Good chance to be able to get a little play right about here. That's a swinging strikeout right there by Budd, who quickly gets rid of Cliff Floyd. Nancy Chin is a part of the Backyard Baseball series. The Backyard Baseball series is the video game series back in the late 2000s, or early 2000s into the late 2000s. Bunch of backyard kids that do pickup ball. It was a PC point-and-click game. We are recreating the entire thing in this OOTP simulation. So we've been playing an entire season, and now we're into playoffs. All right, Nancy Chin, Robbie Budd has been called upon to pitch here, as he already has gotten the 1 man down of Cliff Floyd. So they'll leave it up to JD Epps, the third baseman, the solo homer earlier. Grounds it over to the shortstop, who can't make it. He can't make the play. Barry Larkin can't get the hand-to-glove coordination quite where he wanted it, and that will be an error, I would assume, on Larkin. It is. So Larkin got the clean hop on the play, fielded it cleanly, but then couldn't exchange it well, and couldn't make the play at second base as Rollins was hustling into second, and that'll leave the bases loaded. Bases loaded for Wasarsis against Robbie Budd, the pitcher spot, and she'll strike out. So the Captains leave the bases loaded. I would have pinch hit personally right about there, but they wanted to let their pitcher go, as Wasarsis has been dominant so far, and they will leave the bases loaded against Robbie Budd. So the Ducks have a chance to be able to take some runs back. Supernova, Jay Green, Jason Giambi up against Wasarsis here. Supernova flies it out towards deep left center field. Center fielder making the call, makes the grab. Moonbeam ranging far to her right to make that play. And the the ace of the Ducks, not former, but the Ducks ace, Jay Green, up next. He's been playing second base for them today. Wasarsis now at 78 pitches. Yeah, there have been some games starting at weird times. I might need to fix that for Season 2. Jay Green might be able to hustle this out, but they make the great play. Epps has to time the ground ball to pick it up and fire it over as fast as possible, and he guns down Jay Green at first base. Nice play right there by the third baseman, Epps. That'll leave it up to Jason Giambi. 2 men down here in the inning. Jason will pop it up. Wow, that's another one I need to look at right there. Another of the weird little foul ball pop-ups that just do not know how to register correctly. But it was just a pop-up in foul territory for the out. And the Ducks go down quietly in the 6th. So outside of the first inning, the Ducks have done nothing with their offense. So I don't even know if Jay Green would have been a good choice, because you can't score runs if you don't put people on base and get them around. So the Ducks have been silenced by Wasarsis and the Virginia Beach Captains. Top of the order here against Robbie Budd. Star Moonbeam up first. That's a strikeout, number 3 for Budd for the evening. 1 man down, and this is going to be, I don't know if this is going to be Budd's last inning. I think he has 1 more after this. If they can make him go 7, I think they'd prefer to. Naomi Murray up next for the Virginia Beach Captains. She puts it on the ground towards second baseman. Over to first goes Jay Green's throw. Scooped up by the first baseman, and that's a good second out of the inning right about there. And leave it up to Greg Peters, the slugger for the Virginia Beach Captains. Peters had a good season, batted .345 up against Budd. Grounds it over to the second baseman. Green getting a lot of work at this point. Makes the play, and that is the top of the 7th. So we'll head into the break. The Ducks are down 4-1. They got to get some runs started. They got to get something started here with their offense, or they are going to be eliminated before they even let Jay Green on the mound. Taking the opportunity to get some water here, folks. All right. Into the bottom of the 7th we go. Larkin, Helton, and Olofsson up against Wasarsis, who is now at 80 pitches for the evening. Larkin grounds it over to the shortstop. Shortstop Rollins picks it up, fires it over, gets his counterpart shortstop out. And that'll leave it up to Todd Helton and the rest of the lineup. One man down in Helton. He's going to single out into right field. Plunks the single down into right field. Finally, they got a runner on base at this point. That's a hit for the Ducks. Olofsson up next. Runner on first base is Helton. Riverboat on deck. Wasarsis has to go not from the full windup, from the stretch now, but that's a double play. That was an easy ground ball right there by Olofsson. The slow runners are retired. A double play for the captains. And we'll head to the top of the 8th. It is still 4-1. Virginia Beach coming out strong. And remember, guys, if Virginia Beach wins this, they have their ace for game number 3 against the Houston Apollos. Which means that I don't know if the Apollos go with Pedro. I think they'd go with Pedro still. But this would only ensure that they go with Pedro. I mean, technically, both teams have thrown their number 2 pitchers. So the Apollos are going to throw Pedro Martinez tomorrow. They're going to. Vladimir Guerrero here to lead us off in the top of the 8th inning. Robbie Budd's still out there to pitch. And that's going to be a 4-pitch walk to Vlad Guerrero. Samuel Middleton up next. Runner on first base, no men down. Grounded over toward the second baseman. This could be 2. Shortstop back to first. That's a double play. The Ducks make it look easy. Green to Larkin to Helton. And that's 2 men down now as Rollins comes up. Nobody on base. 2 men down. And he'll strike out. So the Ducks... Yeah, in the end, the Apollos are going to go with Pedro regardless. They are. They're just going to. That's just what's going to happen, because they want Pedro for the finals game at this point as well. All right, Linus Riverboat up first here in the bottom of the 8th inning against Wasarsis. Wasarsis going for 8 innings pitched. Grounded over toward the second baseman. He's a little bit fast, and he's going to get there. Peters moved in. He's not a great second baseman. Tried to make the off-balance throw toss to Murray. And Riverboat, a little bit of a speed demon over at behind the dish area, was able to make that running infield single a reality. And they'll have a runner on first base. Frankie Hawley is going to be pinch hitting for Robbie Budd here in the bottom of the 8th. That's going to be a single. Frankie Hawley has singled into center field. And that'll put runners on first and second. Here come the Ducks. Pete Wheeler up next. Dangerous hitter right here. Runners on first and second. They take their lead against Wasarsis. 92 pitches has Wasarsis. Chance for the Ducks here to be able to make something happen. And that's a looking on a breaking ball. Wasarsis locks up Pete Wheeler with the 66-mile-per-hour curveball that just paints the outside part of the plate. Oh, man. Pete Wheeler didn't know what hit him right there. And they will go to the bullpen for Rex Fuller, who is their closer, by the way. So this is going to be a 5-out save. CH. CH is changeup. CU is curveball. I forgot about that. And then CC is circle change. So it'll be Rex Fuller, the closer, for the Virginia Beach Captains. Supernova up here in the bottom of the 8th. 2 people on, 1 man down. Rex Fuller, very good pitcher. Good averaged overall stuff, control. A little bit lower on the movement, but not bad. Supernova will fly out to left field. Down comes the left fielder. Makes the grab, and Floyd retires. Floyd has retired, the second person in the inning. That leaves it up to Jay Green. We have seen this before, ladies and gentlemen. You do not give Jay Green a tying at bat late in the ball game. The last time this happened, Jay Green hit a home run. Now, I might have just jinxed it, but we've seen this before, where people disrespected Jay Green, and he took advantage of them. So let's see if he can do it again. Big, big matchup right here. Jay Green, 2 men on, 2 men down, 3-run ball game. A homer here ties it. Jay Green steps to the plate. 8 homers in the season. Against Fuller, he has not had an at-bat. Fuller looks in for his pitch. Here's the windup, and he gets him to strike out. A strikeout to Jay Green, and the Ducks go down without scoring a run. And the Virginia Beach Captains will take the 4-1 lead into the 9th inning. The Downey Ducks bring in their closer, Luann Louie, to at least prevent any more runs from scoring. But the damage has already been done as the Virginia Beach Captains are coming out of nowhere to take a 4-1 lead over the Ducks into the 9th. And Louie is going to give up a solo homer. Cliff Floyd goes for his 2nd home run of the day as he hits one 434 feet off of Louie. It's a 5-1 ball game for the Virginia Beach Captains. The Ducks have had all of their best cards foiled. Green has not hit. Their offense has been silenced, and even their best pitchers are getting hit. Luann Louie gives up, I believe, that was technically her 2nd homer of the season, I believe. She does not give up home runs that easily. She is a very good relief pitcher. J.D. Epps up next. And he's going to hit one as well. Out to left center field, and it's a solo homer as well. Back-to-back home runs for the Virginia Beach Captains, pounding the nails into the coffin of the Ducks. 408 feet to left center field. The Ducks have not gotten anything to go their way. Earl Abbott is in to pinch hit. Or has he already been hitting? He already has been. They did a double switch. Oh, interesting. They put Earl Abbott in right field for some reason. So Louie has had back-to-back homers given up at this point. That's a strikeout, but the ball gets away from the catcher. They'll fire it over to first base. Do they get the runner at first? They will. Riverboat has to make a bit of a grab for it, but Abbott is a bit slow as well, so that'll be a strikeout for Louie finally. Star Moonbeam up next. So there's one man down, but they've already had 2 solo homers in the top of the 9th inning here. Moonbeam's going to line out to the shortstop. Larkin makes the grab, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. Leaving it up to Murray. Murray's 1 for 4 for the day so far. Rounded over to the third baseman. Nice play by the third baseman. Over to first they go. And that'll be the side finally retired for the Downey Ducks. So we'll go to the bottom of the 9th. It's now 6-1. So the Ducks are in dire straits now. They need 5 runs to be able to tie 6 to win against Rex Fuller and the Virginia Beach Captains, who are looking to advance to the 3rd round of playoffs. Giambi strikes out on a swinging miss. A beautiful changeup right there by Rex Fuller. Fools Jason Giambi, and it'll leave it up to Larkin and Helton. Yeah, you just can't be giving up homers. But then again, Epps and Floyd are both solo, they are solo homer hitters. That's what they do. So it makes sense. The Captains have just gotten super lucky today. Like, really lucky. I was not expecting this many home runs from them. Like, you tell me Cliff Floyd and J.D. Epps both hit solo homers twice in our ball game here, I would have been like, nah, they don't do that. They don't do that. So Larkin up here in the bottom of the 9th, 1 man down. Rex Fuller's going to have his pitch coming in. Larkin's going to pop it out towards left. It'll fall in for a single. So the Ducks are going to have a single here for Larkin. Chance to be able to get something started here for the Downey Ducks. Todd Helton up next, 1 for 3 for the game so far. I believe he's also had a walk at this point as well, or a fielder's choice. Larkin takes his lead over at first base. Rex Fuller coming in with the pitch. This is hit out towards right. It's well hit. It's up against the wall. It's gone! Todd Helton, 2-run homer for the Ducks. 401 feet. It's now a 6-3 ball game. Finally, the Ducks kick back a little bit. Is it just too little too late, though? That is the question. Stan Olofsson up next. 1 man down. They need 3 runs still, so that just got them back up to where they were back in the 8th inning. Olofsson, gonna see a pitch here from Rex Fuller. Pops it out towards center. That's gonna be a single. And all the Captains fans start to sweat a little bit. Olofsson's on first base. Riverboat up next. They could get a double play here and get out of the inning. But they've got the tying run on deck. Tying runs on deck, and that's Luann Louie. Riverboat at the plate. Olofsson takes his lead over at first. And is that a balk? It is! A balk to Fuller. And that'll put Olofsson at second base. Oh, man, this is getting interesting now. All right, so that takes the double play out of the equation. The Virginia Beach Captains need to take a deep breath right here. Take a deep breath, guys. You can do this. You can still do this. Come on. Riverboat's going to get a 1-0 pitch on the way, a 2-0 pitch on the way. Out towards left it goes. He got under it. Left fielder ranges over, makes the grab, and that'll be the second out of the inning. So it'll be up to Luann Louie, the bottom of the order. She represents... Oh, she's terrible at hitting. Oh, she's so bad. They don't have any pinch hitters left. They don't have anything. In fact, I might even just see... Can we, like, just put anybody else? No, because Olofsson has, like, no hitting as well. There is literally nobody else that can come in to pinch hit. They've used everything. They have thrown everything at the Virginia Beach Captains. All they have left is Louie. She could try to maybe like bunt for a hit. You gotta be trying to bunt for a hit here. That's all you can be doing. This has gotta be it though. The Downey Ducks are down to their last out. They're down 6-3. Fuller looks in for his sign. Here's the windup and the pitch. Over to second base it goes. Louie's fast. Here's the throw to second base. They get it! And the Captains win 6-3. They will advance to round number 3 as they take down the Downey Ducks. They take down the Ducks 6-3 in round number 2. The Captains are going to try to run the gauntlet. The entire ladder is theirs for the taking now. As they take down the Ducks again, a final score of 6-3. So the decision to throw Chin is not successful for the Downey Ducks. And even with having Jay Green in the lineup hitting, they do not advance. And it will be the Captains going on to round number 3, facing off against the Apollos, which is going to be Earl Abbott versus Pedro Martinez. This should be interesting. Now, I do need to give them a day off so they can get their bullpens back, because I don't want to risk the bullpens really having a bad time. Even though they do have Middleton. O'Connor's not ready, though. You got to give O'Connor and Rex Fuller some time. It's a Memphis world you're all living in anyways. Oh, man. I mean, in the end, if you throw Jay Green there, you're not going to be able to throw Jay Green against the Apollos. And at this point, you need your ace against Pedro. You really do. So, in the end, I still think it's the right choice. I think that what I thought was a great advantage for teams that could throw number 2s is going to be a huge disadvantage because you're going to want to throw your number 2s, and that's not going to be the best alternative. So, the Virginia Beach Captains are going to be going up against the Houston Apollos at Houston. This is going to be a fun ball game. This should be interesting. So we'll simulate until day number 2 to be able to get to that ball game. And of course, it's going to be Earl Abbott versus Pedro Martinez. So this is going to be an interesting ball game right about here as well. The Captains should have all of their people back. Yep, Mickey O'Connor's been bad, but Wasarsis is now hot. Oh, man. So we just picked the wrong time to think that the number 2 pitcher from the Captains would be poor. Wasarsis has been anything but. And Villegas got some stuff. Okay, cool. So that's all that. All right. I voted green. I wanted green. Oh, man. That means more if you're, what is it? English? If you're British for the Green Party instead? I don't even know who the Green Party is, technically, what they represent. But anywho, we're not getting into politics here on the channel. The Captains have a chance to be able to take on the Houston Apollos here in round number 3. We're going to be seeing again the Virginia Beach Captains. Star Moonbeam, Naomi Murray, Greg Peters, Vladimir Guerrero, Samuel Middleton, Jimmy Rollins, Cliff Lloyd, and JD Epps, with Earl Abbott, their ace, coming in to play against the Houston Apollos, who have Tommy Pickles, Matilda Sturgis, Shovel Bryant, who had the home run lead for the season. Ken Griffey Jr., Peggy Heffernan, Sean Green, Richie Sexton, Wally Evans, and of course, their ace, an absolute dominant pitcher, Pedro Martinez. I forgot about that yet. The USA does have a green party as well. All right, go Chin. Yes. Yeah, you can root for Chin. She's in the stands, unfortunately. So welcome, everybody, to Los Altos Park, home of the Houston Apollos. Pedro Martinez up against his counterpart, Earl Abbott. This is a big ball game for Houston. They need to win this. So let's just get right into this, guys. Let's do this. Star Moonbeam up first here in the top of the first inning. The captains want to keep going with their tradition of having lots of runs in the first inning. Pedro wheels and deals and gets her to strike out on 4 pitches. Beautiful curveball right there by Pedro. Painting the inside corner, I believe. Leaves it up to Murray and Peters for the inning now. Peters has been doing very well this playoff so far. Well, that was a weird pitch right there, but Pedro goes up in the zone for a fastball strikeout. Fastball right there by Pedro Martinez to get... That was way out of the zone, too. I don't know what happened there. Peters now the lefty slugger for the captains. He's going to punch it over to the third baseman. Third base fires it over, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. So the side's retired. Bryant makes it look easy, and we'll head to the bottom of the 1st. Abbott needs to be able to keep pace with Pedro Martinez. A tough matchup here for Earl Abbott. He'll have to go up against Pickles, Sturgis, and Bryant here in the bottom of the 1st. Pickles up first. He'll put it out towards right field. That'll fall in for a single. Right fielder couldn't judge it very well. Guerrero had to let it drop in front of him. Otherwise, it would have been potentially more trouble. Sturgis up next, the left fielder for the Houston Apollos. Runner on first base is Pickles. And he's going on the pitch. He slides in head first, and he beats the throw. Pickles has a first stolen base of the playoffs, I believe. First stolen base of the playoffs for the Apollos for all of the Backyard Project at this point. And that'll mean that we have a runner on second base now with nobody down. Sturgis is going to pop it out towards center. This is going to be a single. Moonbeam's got a decent arm. Here comes the throw home, but it's not going to be in time. Pickles scores the first run of the game. Houston takes a 1-0 lead, and Sturgis takes second on the throw. So this gives them a great opportunity to be able to tack on more runs and shovel Bryant, the home run leader, at the plate. 2 for 3 against Abbott for his career. He swings and misses, but it's in the dirt. Over to first with a throw. Runner has to hold at second base, and that's going to be a strikeout for Abbott. So it'll leave it up to Ken Griffey Jr., runner on second base, 1 man down. Abbott wheeling and dealing. Ken hits it on a high fly out towards right center field. It'll fall in. It'll be extra base hits. Ken Griffey Jr. is going to have himself a double. He heads for third. It's going to be a stand-up triple. Nope, sliding in triple. He'll go down head first. A sliding triple, RBI triple for Ken Griffey Jr. Heffernan up next. Earl Abbott having a hard time here in the bottom of the 1st. That's a strikeout, though, against Heffernan. How do you customize stadiums? You can go into your 3D models and import different stadiums. You have to download them from either our forums or from a site that has the models. I would highly recommend going to our forums if you're interested in getting these stadiums. They're very cool. Yeah, there you go. I was like, DishNet has probably the link for that in a second here. If you want stadiums, there are some really nice stadiums out there that you guys can get. Sean Green up next. Runner on third base still after the strikeout to Heffernan. Abbott wants to get out of the inning without 3 runs. That's a strikeout. So they'll leave the runner on third base, but they score 2 runs. So the Houston Apollos do to the Captains what the Captains did to the Ducks in the last game. And it'll be a 2-0 lead heading into the top of the 2nd. That's all Pedro needs, folks. Pedro is fine with a 2-run lead, in my opinion at least. That's going to be a walk, though. A walk to... Who was that? Vladdy again? Yeah, Vlad Guerrero gets another 4-pitch walk. So Middleton has a runner on first base against Pedro. popped up behind the dish. That'll be an easy fly out as it's a foul ball pop up to the catcher. Jimmy Rollins up next. Runner on first base. That's still Vladdy. And that's going to be a strikeout right there for Martinez. You may have jinxed him. I don't think I jinxed him. It's just a walk. Vladdy's great at getting walks like that. Cliff Floyd, 2 men down in the inning. Runner on first base. I might have jinxed him, but it's going to be a fly out. There we go. It was a nice hit right there by Cliff Floyd, but the right fielder makes the play, makes it look easy, and Sean Green is able to retire Cliff Floyd. Richie Sexton, I believe that's Wally Evans. Wally Evans and Pedro Martinez up in the bottom of the second inning against Earl Abbott at this point. That'll be a single to right field. That'll fall inside of the right fielder's range. And that'll be a single there for Sexton. That's right. Wally Evans is up next. Second baseman for the Houston Apollos. Runner on first base. Pops it up to center fielder. Moonbeam comes in, makes the grab, and that will retire Evans. Pedro Martinez up next. The pitcher, runner on first base still, 1 man down. Bunted. This will be a sacrifice bunt for Pedro. Over to second base goes the runner. So Sexton will take second. And he'll leave it up to Tommy Pickles. 2 men down here in the bottom of the second inning. Pickles gets his pitch from Abbott. Lines it past the first baseman. That'll be a single. Around third base comes the runner. Here comes the throw home. And it'll be a single as the throw is too late. So an RBI single taking second is Pickles on the play. And that'll be a 3-0 lead for the Houston Apollos. Anyone know if the distribution of backyard, real, and our players was relatively balanced between the teams? Yes, actually they were. Surprisingly, they were actually pretty balanced. A lot of people in all of the different submissions are relatively... I think the pro players probably had the best ratings out of everybody, but I think that the backyard kids have some really elite players like Pablo, Mikey Thomas, Angela Del Vecchio. I'd put Pete Wheeler and Keisha Phillips on that list. There are maybe 10 elite players. So in reality, they all actually balanced out pretty gosh darn well. In fact, if you want to see it, hold on, while I'm doing this, if you want the league files, you can get the league files and play it yourself if you'd like to. We made a quick start of the game with all the stuff in it. Yes, Alex Gonzalez is the only professional player that we imported that was actually in the backyard game that was not very well rated. He was not well rated at all. But he actually is playing still, and he's done well. So, hey. Sturgis, runner on second base, will fly it out down on the line in left field, making the range as left fielder. And that'll retire the side, but the Houston Apollos get another run. It's now 3-0 Houston. Pedro Martinez all smiles and chuckles as he heads back out to the mound. Top of the third we go. I believe this is Epps here up first. Up to the second baseman. Ground ball over to first. And that'll be the first out of the inning as Evans retires Epps. Earl Abbott up next, pitcher for the Virginia Beach Captains up against Pedro. And he's going to strike out on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Pedro's not even bringing it yet, which is kind of surprising. Pedro can bring it around 94 to 96, and he's coming in at around 93 right now, so he's not even trying yet, guys. That's how bad this is. Pedro's like, yeah, we can save some stuff for the tank as he gets another strikeout and retires the side easily. So it'll be up to the Earl Abbott to keep this game close. Shovel Bryant up first here in the bottom of the third, I believe. He's going to lace a single down the line. It's going to be actually extra bases. Up goes against the wall. It'll be a double. Going in towards second, sliding in feet first, and that'll be a slide-in double not Chris Bryant. Shovel Bryant. My apologies. I see Bryant and I instantly think of Chris Bryant. Ken Griffey Jr. up next, runner on second base, and he's going to strike out. A beautiful painting the bottom part of the strike zone fastball called strike 3. Wow. That was a beautiful pitch right there by Abbott. I don't think Ken Griffey Jr. liked the call, but that was a beautiful pitch right about there. Over to third base. They can't even make a play. Infield single for Heffernan as Epps can't make the throw over, and that'll put it runners on first and third with one man down. Sean Green, big power hitter right here. Abbott has to deal, and that's a strikeout. 5 strikeouts for Abbott for the game as Green goes back empty-handed. It'll leave it up to Richie Sexton. And he'll strike out as well. Number 6 for Abbott. Gets him out of the jam. So they haven't scored runs for the first time all game for the Houston Apollos. The Virginia Beach Captains need to get something started against Pedro here, though. Murray, Peters, Guerrero up here in the top of the 4th. Good chance to be able to get something going. They've got to get something going right here. Murray up first. Pedro wheeling and dealing. Grounded up the middle. Shortstop makes the throw. Nope, no throw. It was a really slow ground ball. It might have actually been bounced off of Pedro. Or maybe it was deflected by Pedro. It might have been deflected and slowed down. And Pickles can't make the play, which will put Murray on first base and leave it up to Greg Peters. Peters is hot. He's 0 for 1 today so far, but he already has a homer in the playoffs so far. But that's going to be a steal attempt by Murray. Over to second with a throw, and he's safe. Or she is safe, my apologies. Naomi Murray takes second base. An aggressive steal attempt right there for the Virginia Beach Captains. Good placement, though, for that steal. Gives Peters a chance to drive her in, and it makes Pedro have more pressure. Peters is going to put it on the ground towards the shortstop. They're going to have to hold the runner at second base, though. Long throw by the shortstop Pickles, but he makes the play. And Peters is retired, which will leave it up to Vlad and Samuel. Vlad Guerrero Sr. pops it up into the outfield. Left fielder coming on. Center fielder going to back him up. Makes the grab, and that's the second out of the inning. So the runner's on second base still. Samuel Middleton. They just need a single to potentially get a run here. Middleton, the catcher for the Captains. Pedro Martinez wheeling and dealing. On the ground to the first baseman, and that'll be the third out of the inning as he takes it to first base. So they'll leave the runner on second base. Houston Apollos take their 3-0 lead into the bottom of the 4th. Wally Evans up first. Earl Abbott still pitching here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Gets another strikeout and a nice curveball right about there. Strikeout number 7 for Earl Abbott. Pedro Martinez strikes out as well. Strikeout number 8 for Earl Abbott. Tommy Pickles, 2 for 2 so far for today. And he'll strike out. So Earl Abbott strikes out the side number 7, 8, and 9 for Earl Abbott as the catcher takes the ball away. What are you doing, catcher? Jimmy Rollins up first here in the top of the 5th inning against Pedro Martinez. Both pitchers have been finally settling down into a bit of a nice little groove here. Rollins will ground over to second baseman, over to first, and that'll be the first out of the inning. That was a long at-bat, though. That was 6 pitches right about there. Cliff Floyd up next. He's had a good playoff season so far, 2 home runs. But he's going to strike out on a beautiful slider right there by Pedro Martinez, locking him up. Oh, that was a great, great game. I told you so about starting Green. Well, you had to take your chances, and the Captains just got the offense. The Ducks got nothing until the 9th inning, pretty much. So I don't think Green would have won either, because you give up 1 or 2 runs, and the Captains would have won. So the Ducks' offense was just silenced. Lasarsis was just really, really good. So I don't know. I mean, sure, you could give up less than 4 runs from Chin, but at the same time, Louis gave up 2 runs in the top of the 9th. It was not the Ducks' game. It just wasn't. Pedro Martinez looking to have a good, quick inning here as well. Popped up behind the dish. Catcher ranges over, makes the grab. That'll be the inning. So, quick. 1, 2, 3 innings for both sides. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Earl Abbott looking to continue his strikeout streak as he had 3 in his last half inning. That's not going to get it done, though. That'll hit Sturgis, unfortunately. Runner on first base, and that'll bring up Shovel Bryant. Runner on first, Bryant, the home run leading champion. This is out towards center, ranging his moonbeam. It's looking up against the wall, though. She can't get to it in time, and that'll be an extra base hit for Shovel Bryant. They'll leave the runner at third base, though, as they won't be able to get into home. Moonbeam's speed is way too good for that, so there'll be a double Another double for Bryant, leaving it up to Ken Griffey Jr. to drive in more runs. Earl Abbott in a bit of trouble right here. He needs another strikeout of Ken Griffey Jr. like he did last time. That's not a strikeout, but it is a ground ball in front of home plate. Over to first they go, and that'll retire Griffey Jr. Good pitching right there by Abbott for the curveball. That was a little bit hittable, but Griffey couldn't do anything with it, and that will take care of Griffey at least. So one man down now. Heffernan up to the bat. I don't even know why they pitched to Griffey, in all honesty. I would have walked him, but oh well. Heffernan drives it. This is deep. Right center field. And gone! That was absolutely destroyed by Heffernan. A 3-run homer for the catcher for the Apollos, and it's a 6-0 ball game. That was absolutely crushed. That was absolutely obliterated. That is the deepest part of the game, or sorry, of the stadium. Deepest part of Los Altos Park, and that wasn't even like up against the wall. That was like halfway up the stands. Massive home run right there by Heffernan, and that will be it for Abbott. Abbott is finished. Mickey O'Connor has come in to pitch to try to stop the bleeding here for the Virginia Beach Captains. Sean Green up next. Only one person down in the inning, and Sean Green will drive it out towards center. Moonbeam can't get it on even the leaping attempt, and that'll be an extra base hit for Sean Green, sliding into second base. Sean Green gets the one-out double, and that'll leave it to Richie Sexton and Wally Evans. Sexton up first. He's going to put it on the ground in the hole. That'll be a single. Right fielder gets the ball, throws it back in quickly, and that'll make Green hold at third base. Green holds at third. They've got Sexton at first. Evans up next, second baseman for the Apollos. O'Connor not doing very good. Out to center it goes. Moonbeam will make the grab at least. Here comes the play at the plate. Here's the throw. Here it comes. Person running. He's out! Moonbeam makes the perfect throw, and Sean Green is nailed at the plate. So the Apollos do not extend the lead past 6 runs. That's a beautiful play by Star Moonbeam. Saves the inning from getting any worse. That was a great, I wouldn't say that was a cannon. She has a good arm, but that was mostly speed. That was all about her being able to get in place quickly, because her arm is only 21. So that's her range and Sean Green's speed right there. So she was able to get behind it quickly, get the running start, and then her momentum probably was what got that play right there. So Moonbeam with, not the best of arms in the world, but that speed is so important to get in position quickly. And a great job. Just a perfect throw to catch a, I guess Sean Green, he's still pretty fast. Wow. So that must have been a brilliant throw right there by Star Moonbeam. Wow. All right, well, anywho, top of the 6th we go. Mickey O'Connor, the pitcher, has to bat first against Pedro Martinez. Pedro looking to continue his dominance, and he blows a fastball at 94 by Mickey O'Connor. Guys, if Pedro keeps going like this, there's just nothing you can do. Top of the order, Moonbeam, I believe, up first. Another strikeout. That's 8 now. Pedro has 8 strikeouts, 1 hit, 1 walk. And that'll leave it up to Murray. And Murray will strike out. Pedro retires the side on strikeouts. Oh, that's not a good sign, guys. Pedro looking very sharp at this point. 77 pitches for Pedro. He bats first here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Mickey O'Connor pitching still for the Captains. Pedro will strike out, checking on his swing, but he went around. That'll be the first out of the inning. Tommy Pickles up next. Pickles will ground it over to the shortstop. Shortstop fires over to first base, and that'll be the second out of the inning. So Connor, replacing Abbott, has done okay as he looks to retire the side here in the top of the 6th, I believe, or bottom of the 6th. Moonbeam makes the nice play in center field to retire the side, and the bottom of the 6th is retired. So Mickey O'Connor did a good job. Retires the side, keeps the Apollos from scoring at least. And we'll head to the top of the 7th. The Virginia Beach Captains have got to get something started, guys. You got to get something started here. Pedro Martinez wheeling and dealing. Over to third base it goes. Third baseman Epps, I believe. No, that's Bryant. Makes the play look easy. Fires across. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Vlad Guerrero up next. Pedro Martinez grounds it over to third base as well. Bryant busy today. Fires it over. Makes the second out of the inning. And that'll leave it up to Middleton. Pedro Martinez looking to retire the side 1-2-3 again. And he does on a strikeout. His 10th strikeout of the game so far. Pedro has been dominant so far this game, ladies and gentlemen. It's 6-0 heading into the 7th inning stretch. The Apollos look posed to advance to the 4th round at this point. Mickey O'Connor back out on the mound. Shovel Bryant, Griffey Jr., and Heffernan. He has to go through the heart of the order here. Bryant hits it hard. He is it deep. Left center field. Home run! The home run king of the regular season dumps a 449-foot homer to left center field. A hanging slider that was definitely not what O'Connor wanted at this point, and it's 7-0 Houston. Ken Griffey Jr. up next. O'Connor has given up a run now officially. Ken Griffey Jr. strikes out swinging. Good pitch right there on the fastball away by O'Connor. Nicely done. Peggy Heffernan up next. She had the 3-run homer, I believe, back in the 4th. She smacks it towards the second baseman. Over to first base they go. Peters makes it look easy. 5th inning, my apologies for that 3-run homer. Sean Green up next. 2 men down. 1 run scored already. He's going to pop it out towards left. Left fielder ranging over to his left a little bit. Makes the grab, and that'll retire the side. But the solo home run to the home run champion, Bryant, is going to be fun. Yes, at this point, the Kings have to really go up against Pedro or Abenduk. That's literally what's going to happen. And I don't know. If the Windsor Whistlers want to guarantee their opportunity to play in the finals, they may throw Abenduk. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Pedro Martinez working here in the top of the 8th inning. 87 pitches up against Jimmy Rollins. Strikes him out on his 11th strikeout of the game. Pedro has just not had any weakness today, ladies and gentlemen. That might be his first one, though. High and deep to right field. It's gone! Cliff Floyd continues his amazing playoff performance with a 422-foot homer. It breaks the shutout. And Pedro will not be able to have a 0 in the runs column as Cliff Floyd gets the Virginia Beach Captains on the board with a solo homer to right field. Well done. Pinch hitting for Epps is going to be Jessica Wasarsis. I don't understand this move right here, but okay, sure. Okay, sure. Pedro Martinez strikes her out. 12 strikeouts for Pedro Martinez. Still a dominant performance from the ace pitcher for the Apollos. 2 men down in the inning, and he'll get another strikeout. Another strikeout for Pedro. That's 13 for the game. That ties the record for playoff strikeouts. As he ends the 8th inning with unfortunately giving up a run. Yeah, now we're doing Pedro, J.D. Martinez. Oh, my brain is all over the place today. Mickey O'Connor still in to pitch against Richie Sexson, Wally Evans, and the pitcher spot. We don't know if they're going to pinch hit or not. Sexson Sexton strikes out. 3rd strikeout of the game for O'Connor, who has now gone 3 innings total. Wally Evans up next, second baseman for the Apollos. He's going to punch it out to left field. It's high, it's deep, up against the wall, and it's gone! Evans hits a 411-foot home run. The homers are going everywhere here in Los Altos Park. And it's back to a 7-run lead for the Apollos. 8-1. Pedro Martinez is going to pitch the 9th inning. He is hitting here in the bottom of the 8th against O'Connor, and he'll single. helping his own cause. Pedro has singled here in the bottom of the 8th. Just dealing. I like that. Pedro JD for just dealing Martinez. I like that a lot. Pickles. Martinez is on first base. Pickles up here with one man down, I believe. And that'll be another single. Another single. And the Apollos are going to have runners on first and second for Sturgis. O'Connor is tiring now. 41 pitches. Runners on first and second. One man down. Sturgis up to bat now. That's an 0-2 strikeout right there for O'Connor. Strikeout number 4 for O'Connor, but he has to go up against Shovel Bryant again. He had a homer back in the 7th. Let's see if Shovel Bryant can do it again. 2 men down, 2 men on. An 8-1 lead for the Houston Apollos. Bryant will pop it out to the left fielder. On comes the left fielder, makes the grab, and it'll be the end of the inning. So Bryant can't add on to the lead, but the solo homer for Wally Evans makes it an 8-1 ball game heading into the top of the 9th. Pedro Martinez is going to go up against the top of the order. 107 pitch Pedro Martinez. Moonbeam, Murray, Peters. A 7-run deficit for the Virginia Beach Captains. This is going to be an amazing comeback if they can do it. Moonbeam has hit it hard. Deep center field, but Ken Griffey Jr. on the track reaches up for the grab. And Moonbeam is retired, and that is it. So the hanging curveball is the sign of the end of the game, end of the day for Pedro Martinez. Matessa Sturgis comes in to finish up the ball game, the closer for the Houston Apollos, and her 11 saves, 2.25 ERA, 33 strikeouts, 3 walks. Amazing performance from Pedro, and we'll see if Sturgis can finish this out quickly here. Naomi Murray up first against the closer for the Apollos. Hit well, but it's going to be a little under as it goes towards center field. Ken Griffey Jr. makes the play again, and they're down to their last out. The Captains have tried valiantly against Pedro Martinez, but they are down 8-1 here in the top of the 9th inning. Sturgis against Peters. Big matchup right about here. Can Peters get something started? He pops it up to center. Ken Griffey Jr. over to make the play, makes the grab, and the Houston Apollos have advanced to round number 4. They have taken down and ended the run of the Virginia Beach Captains behind a masterful performance from Pedro Martinez. A great ball game right there by Pedro Martinez and a solid offensive performance from the Apollos. That is why the Houston Apollos are to be feared greatly going into this next game, especially. Like, the Apollos have always been, in my opinion, one of the most favorited teams to win the entire thing. I know a lot of people are going to like the Windsor Whistlers, but in my opinion, the Apollos are the team to fear because they have a really balanced offense and pitching staff. So, now comes the decision-making point of the entire stream, ladies and gentlemen. This is the game before the finals. We're going to be seeing the Houston Apollos away against the Windsor Whistlers. The Memphis Kings are the next competitor. Do the Whistlers throw Abinduct to ensure that they can at least get to the finals? Or do they trust Maria Luna to be able to get them to the finals against the Kings and then throw Abinduct? We just saw how good Houston can be with their offense. Houston is going to have to throw their number 2 pitcher. Well, that's the question, Captain Tennille. Do you risk having your number 2 pitcher go up when your ace, especially for the Whistlers, when your ace is your best asset on your entire team? Do you risk not ever seeing Abinduct pitch? This is so tough. Like, do you trust Maria Luna to go up against Leah Wayne? Or do you trust her to go up against the number 2 pitcher of the Houston Apollos? We just saw the Apollos destroy Greg Abbott and the Virginia Beach Captains. The Whistlers have a semi-decent bullpen. Tran and Medelson are okay. Their bullpen was second in ERA. Their starters are first. So this is going to be the interesting part. What do we do, ladies and gentlemen? So I'll let you guys think about that. Are we throwing Luna, who has been fairly decent all season? I'll give her that. Luna's been good. But are you really going to risk it? Are you going to risk losing to the Apollos, who then will get to throw Pedro? How did Luna do against the Apollos in the regular season? Let's find out. So, we've set up the playoff game for tomorrow. Playoff coverage between the Windsor Whistlers and the Apollos. Pedro Martinez won against the Whistlers. Screwball lost. Benjamin Abenduk did not win his game. Maria Luna won, technically, but they outslugged the Apollos. Abenduk didn't actually have the best performance. He had 16 strikeouts, but Pedro Martinez did actually technically outduel him in that game. So the question is just, do we throw Abenduk or do we throw Luna? Do we trust our offense behind Gwynn, Tony Gwynn Sr., Fabtron7, Andy Greenberg, Nomar Garcia-Parra, Ivan Rodriguez, Jeff Conine? Do we go with Luna and risk it for the biscuit? Or do we at least ensure, almost 100% ensure, that we win this game? I think the Apollos are very, very happy. They'll be more than happy to let their offense try to go against whatever the Whistlers throw. Because in the end, here's the deal, guys. The Apollos have a really hot offense right now. If we throw Luna, even though she's good, Luna is still a very decent starting pitcher, and she's had a very good season. 3.08 ERA. She has a high strikeouts, low homer ratio, lowish walks, but she's no Abenduk. And we're talking about, some people who have had absolutely monstrous couple of days, with Shovel Bryant having a 3 for 5 performance of a homer. Everyone's thinking Luna. I see a lot of people thinking Luna. I see some people thinking Abenduk. Oof, this is going to be tough. Do we do our second attempt? Then rely on Luna in the bullpen for the last game? See, this is weird. Like, you have good arguments for both sides, which is so weird. Like, either side really could do it. It really could be either way. Yeah, well, technically, Chin... The problem is that Chin didn't get any offensive support. You talk about a bad attempt, and even though Nancy Chin, technically had a bad performance, she didn't get any run support at all. I mean, you're not going to win very many ball games when you're down 6-1 in the 9th inning, all right? So, we can try to blame Chin for that performance, but in the end, the Ducks' offense was just not there. They just were not there. Yeah, if we don't throw Abenduk in this first game, we're basically putting him on the shelf and saying that if we win the entire thing. Because Abenduk versus Leo Wayne is, I would say, a 75% winning chance. But if we throw Abenduk against the number 2 starter, which is Screwball, it's almost a guaranteed 100% chance winning against the Apollos. So, the problem is, are we okay with taking the risk of, not having Abenduk pitch in this first game? And I know if To Be Determined was here, he'd be like, throw me. Throw Benjamin. Why would you not throw me? Oh, man. So, if it was my decision, I would throw Luna. You gotta trust that Luna can give you that really good start to be able to guarantee you the win. Yeah, the Ducks were farther away from playoffs, so they didn't have as much of a risk. But now that we're here, because again, now that we're here, this is so much more important than just, you know, hey, if we win, we win. If we lose, you know, hey, we didn't really have a great chance anyways, you know. Gotta go Abinduct, Abinduct. I'm seeing a lot of Abinducts now. Alright, fine, we're going Abinduct. We're gonna destroy the Apollos instead. So the decision has been made. We're gonna go Abinduct just because of the fact that we basically are going to do instead. We're gonna trust Luna to pitch in the finals. It isn't technically gonna be as hard of a matchup against the Memphis Kings, because Leah Wayne is not exactly as good as, say, a Jay Green, or even an Abinduct, or even a Pedro Martinez. But I think at this point, Leah Wayne has been hittable on occasion. Should be Luna. See, the problem is if we do Luna and we lose, we give the Apollos Pedro. Oh, man, that's... Oh, that's so tough. Now you guys are making me double think myself. See, this is where there's just, like, chat is gonna be so split. You have, like, half of chat that's like, why would we throw Luna tomorrow, you know, when we want Abinduct for the championship game? And then the other half of chat's like, well, we want to get to the championship game first, so let's throw Abinduct now. I understand why we want to keep Abinduct for the championship game. I really do. Trust me, I do. Yeah, that's what my decision is, Gucci, is I think the difference between Luna and Wayne is not too big of a difference. I think that's okay. But then again, the difference between, you know, Screwball and Luna is pretty much even. So, would we rather have Luna have a disadvantage in the finals, or a pretty much even-Steven game against the Apollos? The problem is the Apollos have the better offense. You know? They have a better offense. Alright, there we go. There's our straw poll. I wasn't going to do straw polls, but... Okay, I don't even know what I'm going to vote for at this point. Alright, chat, convince me. Who are we throwing here? Vote, and then convince me. Abinduct all the way. Throw the ace. Let me see the results first. What do you guys think? If you haven't gotten your vote in, go ahead. We'll see what people say about the votes. Oh, man, it's pretty close, but it is still a 60-40. And remember, guys, you guys voted Chin, by the way. You guys said Chin in our last straw poll, just so you guys are aware. All right, it was a 60-40 split, but you guys did say Chin. We did say Nancy. So it's not just me who decided that. You guys decided that as well. Oh my gosh, it almost tied up. 23 votes. We have a 52% for Abinduct, and it's tied up again. Luna and Abinduct. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to make this hard on me, aren't you? Oh my gosh. Luna takes the lead. It's even again. Who keeps voting to tie it up? Stop it. Oh my gosh. You guys are going to make me vote, aren't you? Why are you guys going to make me do this? No. No. You guys are seriously going to make me have to split a tie. And of course, I'm going to get blamed for whatever happens now. There's the lead for Abinduct. 54% lead for Abinduct. 55. Okay, I think we have it now. I think Abinduct has officially won. A 16-14 vote total right now. That's 30 votes in. I think Abinduct is going to be our choice. I think we just say, you know what? We're going to take it to the Apollos. We're going to throw Abinduct to at least ensure that we have a finals game between the Whistlers and the Kings. And the reason why we're going to do that is because it actually isn't because of the vote. I mean, it is. But the other reason is because the Apollos pitched Pedro yesterday. All right? I think that's going to be the deciding factor. Is that because the Apollos are playing for Game 3. The Apollos are playing for the finals game. So the best way to combat the Apollos and to guarantee we get in is to play for today and not for tomorrow. Because the Apollos are already being cheeky. They're already being cheeky, and, you know, they didn't pitch their number 2 pitcher yesterday and rely on their offense to win, which they could have done. The Apollos could have thrown screwball yesterday and guaranteed they had Pedro versus Abinduct today. But they did not. So, vote for Luna. A recount. Another vote. Revote. It's still 17-15 for Abinduct, guys. It's going to have to be Abinduct. I think the Windsor Whistlers rely on Luna tomorrow. Yeah, it would be nice to have a best of 3. Maybe for Season 2 we'll change that, but I do love this whole entire debate about, do you throw number 1, do you throw number 2? Like, what do you do? Do you play for the next game, or do you play for today? I like that. I absolutely like it. The fix is in. Memphis has been selected to win. Oh, man. I mean, it's gonna be tough, because we could go the same route as the Houston Apollos and let the ace go for tomorrow. Now I'm split. Now I want Luna to pitch, because yeah, I want it to be, you know, the aces going at it for the finals. I don't want it to be Maria Luna versus Leo Wayne for a finals. I want it to be Abinduct, but I just can't guarantee that it'd be Abinduct, and I don't want to give the Whistlers like a coin toss to get into the finals. I want them to put their best foot forward to get into finals. Yeah, they got a decent chance. Yeah, I mean, if they go with Luna, there's still a decent chance. I mean, yeah, that'd be the thing, is that if they go with Luna, and I'm backtracking now, it would be Pedro or Abinduct versus Leo Wayne in the finals. Advance the game date a week? No, we're not going to give people time off to let them decide to play their best pitchers. I mean, we could do that if you guys actually wanted to. We could just say, all right, the last 2 rounds has to be the ace pitchers for each team. But that just defeats the purpose. Like, then the Whistlers have the greatest advantage in the world, because Abinduct is the best pitcher by far. Like, it's not even close, guys. Abinduct has the best stuff. So we can't just, like, make it an aces versus all. It has to be a team game. It's baseball. It's a team game. So the number 2 pitcher has to pitch for one of these 2 games. Oh, man, I'm split still. I'm so split still. That poll is still up if you guys have not gotten your vote in for that poll. I haven't. So, although now it's 19 votes for Abinduct, 15 votes for Luna. So, I think it's gotta be Abinduct. This is more stressful than waiting for the wife to choose a restaurant. Well, this is the deciding factor for the Whistlers' entire season. You know, are they gonna be happy with, you know, most likely second place if they go with Abinduct today? Or do they want to risk it for the biscuit and throw Abinduct tomorrow if they get to tomorrow? Oh, man, this is what I was hoping would happen, but now I'm really not liking it. Oh, my gosh. Abinduct did follow the rules, actually. Yes. He has absolutely the least amount of stamina needed for a starting pitcher, the lowest velocity, and then he pushed high into a couple categories. He only had 2 good pitches, by the way. He had to utilize his power-up to get a 3rd pitch. Otherwise, he would have been a relief pitcher. So, he perfectly did a submission that was just perfectly submitted. Which is why we're redoing the submission form, because I didn't realize you could get away with that. Not get away with it. He made a perfectly good submission. Some people got close. Dishnet was very close as well to the same submission. But a lot of people wanted, you know, higher velocity. And if you wanted velocity, you weren't going to be able to get the control and movement. So we're in the semifinals. We're in the second to last round. We're trying to decide whether or not the Houston Apollos are going to be going up against Maria Luna or Benjamin Abinduct. And the votes right now are 19-16. Abinduct in the lead. So at the moment, we're leaning towards Abinduct to at least guarantee, or at least attempt to guarantee, that the Whistlers are in the finals. Whoever wins has to go up against Leah Wayne and the Memphis Kings. And I'm sorry for drawing this out for you guys, but I have to make sure we make a good decision about this. This has to be a really, really good decision about how we do this, because I will get an earful if I don't. If I misuse Abinduct, I'm gonna get an earful tonight, which is gonna be fun, unfortunately. So, all right, chat, you get one last chance to convince me. One last chance to convince me. Who are we playing? You play the season to have the advantage in the final game. If I were a Memphis Kings player, I would feel terrible to have the odds stacked against me in the final game. Well, yes. But that would mean that the team that won to get to the finals had to have a balanced team to get there. For example, the Whistlers, if they don't throw their best pitcher here tonight, they could very well not advance. Whereas the Apollos have a very balanced team in terms of scoring runs with a couple of good pitchers. You know, they have Pedro, their ace. They've got a good bullpen. They've got a really good offense. The Kings have a perfectly balanced organization. You'll see when we get to them. The Kings are the best of everything. They balanced everything so perfectly that a lot of these other teams are like one-and-done teams, like the Ducks. The Ducks were all about Jay Green. If Jay Green and their offense were not clicking, they lose, and they did. The Virginia Beach Captains were all about their offense. If their pitching staff couldn't do it, they were done. And they are. They're done. The Apollos are all about Pedro Martinez and their offense. If they don't have Pedro, they rely on their offense. If their offense is not there, they're done, because they do not have a very good starting number 2 pitcher. Screwball is terrible. Not that he's terrible. I'm sorry. He's not terrible. He's average. Okay? Screwball does not buy me confidence. And the Whistlers should feel very confident going up against Screwball. So if I'm a Kings player, I'm very happy. They've done so well during the regular season. So I have no problem at all, in all honesty, about a Memphis Kings player, you know, feeling that the odds are against them. I feel like the odds are absolutely in your favor. The Kings only have to play one game. They play their ace. They go out there swinging, and, you know, they have the best way to get a victory. They just do. Well, that's just it. The Whistlers don't have a poor pitcher. Maria Luna's pretty good. Maria Luna had almost a sub-3 ERA. So, you know, it was not that bad. I'm sorry, Maverick. You're not terrible. You're not terrible. You're about as good as Maria Luna. You just did not get the run support, and you had a couple of bad days where you gave up a lot of homers. Like this one against Centennial. That's just what happened. And I think Houston Apollo's Park, Los Altos, is also very homer-friendly. So unfortunately, unlike Whistler Stadium, which is basically where Maria Luna pitched, it's very pitcher-friendly. Your stadium is very hitter-friendly. So again, guys, this is a very hitter-friendly park, I believe, for the Apollos. So it's going to be a more high-octane offensive game. Yeah, see, the problem is that Maria Luna isn't a bad pitcher. She actually is pretty good. She's done very, very well. And, you know, partially I think that's because of the fact that she pitches at a very good home stadium. Yeah. So here's the problem, guys. Maria Luna on the road is 422. At home, she's 218. Now, they are home. So it's actually going to be a pitcher's duel. My apologies. I keep thinking the person on the right is home. It's going to be a pitcher's duel because they're at Windsor. So do we throw Maria at home? Because she is good at home. That actually kind of sways me. I think that Maria is actually the better choice. Even though the votes continue to go in Abinduct's favor now. 58% Abinduct. Yeah, if they win, Luna has to pitch on the road. What do you guys think? What about the rest of the chat? Tim Gross makes a great point. Luna has almost a sub-2 ERA at home, a +4 ERA on the road. She can pitch home against the Apollos, or she can pitch away against the Kings. Abenduck's splits look like this. On the home, he's 230. On the road, he's 151. All right, I think we're starting Luna. Abenduck's not even as good at home. He's better on the road. So I think Luna has to pitch now. We have to rely on the past performances of Luna. I think that sways everything. Luna is going to pitch, ladies and gentlemen. The argument is sound for Luna at this point. She's better at home than even Abenduck. And Abenduck's better on the road, and you're going to be on the road if you win this game against the Memphis Kings. So we're going to see aces going against the Kings. All right, so the vote has completely swapped. Everybody is pretty much on board with this. I think we're going to swap it. It's going to be Maria Luna versus Evan Screwball. Yeah, those splits actually helped, and knowing who is home and who's away. So, the home Windsor Whistlers, who are 9-8 at home, are going up against the Houston Apollos, who are 9-8 on the road. Let me get a glass of water, and we will start right into this, guys. So give me just 1 second here. Let's do this. All right, the second to last game for the day. This is going to be one of our longer streams, but I don't care. These are the important games, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lookout Landing. This is going to be the home of the Windsor Whistlers. We're going to be seeing the returning round 3 winners, the Houston Apollos, going up against the Windsor Whistlers. Tommy Pickles, Matilda Sturgis, Shovel Bryant, Ken Griffey Jr., Peggy Heffernan, Richie Sexton, Sean Green, Wally Evans, and Evan Screwball. For the Whistlers, we're going to be seeing Andy Green, Tony Gwynn Sr., Fabtron7, Nomar Garcia-Parra, Ivan Rodriguez, Jeff Conine, Dmitry Petrovich, Maria Luna, batting in the 8th spot, and Cindy Chang, the second base Gold Glover, who has hit .085 for the regular season. The Apollos are looking for a lot of home runs and a lot of runs scored. They want to make this a very high-octane offensive game. The Windsor Whistlers are looking for a low-scoring game. They want to win by like a run or two, and they want Luna to have a really good outing right here. Luna's 6-3, 308 for the season. Evan Bryant, 4-5 record, 464. 464 is his ERA. And let's jump into this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get started. Screwball did not do well against the Whistlers in his first time against them. He was 0-1 with a 7+ ERA. So the Whistlers are looking for a high-octane offensive game here against Screwball as well. Welcome to Lookout Landing. The trees out in center, the nice brick outlining of all of the walls, and the glass out in left field make up this, I believe, round symmetrical outfield, I believe. Luna going to be pitching here in the top of the first inning against the Houston Apollos. Wheeling and dealing. Bunting is the first batter. Catcher makes the play, fires it over to first. And that's the first out of the inning. We actually looked into the splits. Crash Giants. We looked at the home and road splits, and Luna's actually better at home than Abenduck is, and they're home. So we decided that Luna is actually the better pick because of the regular season splits. We're going to go with her. We're going to throw the number 2 pitchers here, and then we're going to save Abenduck on the road, where he's actually better on the road against, hopefully, the Kings, and not hopefully a hotel room. Nice swinging strikeout right there. Luna gets a second out of the inning. That was Sturgis going down. That brings up Shovel Bryant. Dangerous hitter, and he strikes. He strikes out. Luna strikes out too. Every single inning is going to be so important for both of these ball clubs. Every single inning is do or die for both of these clubs. Andy Greenberg up to bat first. He had a really poor regular season, but he's an amazing first base fielder with good speed and a pretty decent contact. Evan Screwball wheeling and dealing for the Apollos. Out to left center field it goes. Left fielder ranging to make the play. Makes the grab, and Sturgis retires the first out of the bottom of the first. Tony Gwynn Sr. up next. Pops it out towards center field. Shortstop makes the range, makes the grab. Nicely done by Pickles, making that play look easy. Fabtron 7 with his .321 batting average. Up against Screwball here in the bottom of the first. It's going to be a night ball game. And he strikes out. He offered, and it didn't check the swing, unfortunately. Yes, and this allows us to at least see Abductor Pedro against Leo Wayne. So it's an all-aces fight, at least. Which is not the reason why we're doing it, but it's going to make it hard for whoever wins going up against the Kings. And I'd rather prefer that, technically. In the back of my mind, I'm preferring that versus, oh yeah, it's the number 2 pitcher of the Whistlers. You know, I don't like Luna versus Wayne. I don't think that would be very good. Plus, maybe these 2 pitchers here are going to surprise us and have a good game. Maybe. That's another strikeout for Maria Luna. That's number 3 for the day. Griffey didn't even have a chance on that high fastball. Marina Luna looking comfortable so far in this game. That's going to be a walk, though, to Heffernan for straight. And that'll be the first person on base. Sexton up next, runner on first base. That gets by the catcher, unfortunately. That's going to be a wild pitch, and Heffernan takes second base. So a walk and a wild pitch puts the runner in scoring position for the Houston Apollos. Richie Sexton has a chance to dive in a run now. Pops it up down the right field line. Over goes the second baseman, takes charge, makes the grab. Runner stays at second base. Chang makes that look easy, having to range far to her left, though. Sean Green up next. Actually, this is a great matchup, lefty-lefty. Sean Green not very good against left-handed pitchers. He puts that in the air, chin going out, calls off the right fielder, makes the grab, and that'll retire the side. So they lead the runner in scoring position for the Apollos, and we'll head to the bottom of the second inning. The Windsor Whistlers up with Garcia Parra, my apologies, Rodriguez, and Conine. Garcia Parra will strike out swinging on the, what was that, a 89 mile an hour slider by Evan Screwball. Nicely done right there by Screwball. Ivan Rodriguez, Pudge as he's known, the catcher for the Whistlers up next. Flies out to center field, on comes Ken Griffey Jr., easily strolling over to his right, makes the grab, 2 men down, leaving it up to Jeff Conine to do something about this at this point. 4 homers for the season, batted about .280. Over to third base, Shovel Bryant makes the grab, fires it over to first base, and we've had two innings of well-pitched balls so far. Mariana Luna working in the top of the third. Wally Evans had the solo homer in his last game, strikes out swinging. Luna has brought it today so far. That's strikeout number 4 for Maria Luna. Evan Screwball up next, and he'll strike out. That's 5 strikeouts for Luna. Top of the order we go. Tommy Pickles. He's batted .500 so far for the playoffs. Grounds it over to second baseman. Second baseman makes the play. Fires it over to first. Chang makes it look easy. Chang's been all over the place so far this day, folks. Great defender is Chang, and that will retire the top of the third. Dmitry Petrovic up first in the bottom of the third inning. Evan Screwball here to work. Strikes out Petrovic on a 2-2 pitch. Nicely done with the Screwball from Screwball. Nicely done. That only seems appropriate. Maria Luna up next. She's actually a very good hitter. She plops it in for a single. First hit of the game is Maria Luna, the pitcher. Chang has a chance here to be able to put something on for the top of the order with Greenberg on deck. Chang will single down the left field line. This might be double. It might be extra base, and it's going to be an extra base hit. Luna is going to hold at third base, though. And Cindy Chang, the 0.85 batting average hitter, pops a double down the left field line. Greenberg up now. Runners on second and third. 1 man down. Good chance here for the Whistlers to put some runs on. Screwball going to have a hard time here. Greenberg pops it out towards center. It's going to fall. It's a single. Griffey can't get to it in time, and that'll score a run. Luna scores herself after her single. Tony Gwynn Sr. up next. Runners on first and third. Screwball in problems now. You did not see that coming from Chang. I did not either. I thought she was an instant out. Tony Gwynn gonna take the walk. No, it's a stolen base attempt by the Steeler. Greenberg. He's out. Greenberg gets caught stealing second base. Sorry about the voice crack there for a second. But Heffernan guns down Greenberg at second base. A great job right there for the second out of the inning. Tony Gwynn now has 2 men down. Runner on third. Pops it out towards left. Left fielder makes the grab. So only 1 run. Only 1 run gets scored. It might have been a pitch out. They might have. Greenberg is a fast runner, so that could be very true. Actually, that's not Pudge. Pudge is actually for the Whistlers. So that was Heffernan with the cannon of an arm down to second base to get the runner there. Would have been safe if Abenduct pitched. Actually, he probably would have been. Although technically Abenduct is for the Whistlers, so you guys are backwards. He wouldn't have been safe if it had been Pedro, and Pedro had thrown a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Then he would have been out, definitely. All right, top of the fourth we go. Maria Luna has been lights out so far. Matilda Sturgis, I believe, is up first. Pops it out towards right field. Conine making his way over, I believe. Makes the grab. First out of the inning. Shovel Bryant up next. This is the heart of the order for the Apollos. Luna wheeling and dealing and gets him swinging again. Another strikeout against Shovel Bryant. And it's down to Ken Griffey Jr. for the top of the fourth. Luna has looked amazing so far, but there's the first hit for the Apollos. A single into the left center field gap for Ken Griffey Jr., and Maria Luna finally gives up her first base hit, her first hit of the day. Luna's got a runner on first base, 2 men down. Heffernan plops it through the gap into the left field area, so that'll be another single. Heffernan single, so back-to-back singles as Garcia Parra couldn't come up with the ground ball. And it'll be Richie Sexton with 2 men on. Maria Luna getting into some trouble here. Sexton grounds it over to the shortstop. Over to second base they go. And they will retire the side. Maria Luna gets out of trouble. It leaves the runners on first and second and will head to the bottom of the fourth. Fabtron 7 up here first. Nomar Garcia Parra and Ivan Rodriguez will be facing off against Screwball. This one's dumped out into the right field, and it'll fall in for a single. Second baseman had to get up on the play there. So Fabtron 7 will get a single. Garcia Parra up next, runner on first base. That's going to be a walk, a full count 7-pitch walk, I believe. 7-pitch walk to Garcia Parra, puts runners on first and second. Ivan Pudge Rodriguez up next. Screwball in trouble here. Pudge is going to pop it up on the infield, though. First baseman takes charge. Infield fly rule, actually, right there. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Jeff Conine up next. Conine will ground it over to the third baseman, over to second they go, back to first. Nice play by the second baseman, making that turn look easy, even with the runner coming in hard. And the Houston Apollos get out of the inning, nothing happening for the Whistlers. This is going to be one of those games, guys. It's going to be one of those games. Maria Luna up here in the top of the fifth, up against Green and Evans and Screwball. Green up first. Pops it out towards left field. He has not had a good day so far. Luna gets him to fly out to Petrovic easily. 67 pitches for Maria Luna as we are going through the fifth inning here. Evans strikes out. Strikeout number 7 for Maria Luna. And that'll leave it up to the pitcher spot. Screwball up here. He'll ground it over to the shortstop, who has to make a diving play for it. Makes the throw. Makes it look easy. Oh my gosh. All right, so that was probably more of a hot shot up the middle that Garcia Parra was able to glove just barely. Makes the throw over. And a beautiful play by Garcia Parra to get the out there and end the inning. Bottom of the fifth we go. Petrovic up first. Screwball at 50 pitches. Petrovic flies it out towards left center field. Ken Griffey Jr. is on the run. Makes the grab and retires Petrovic. Maria Luna up next. And she'll ground out to the first baseman, who takes it to the bag and retires the Maria Luna. Nicely done, Evie Cine Y2. YC2. Evincini. I don't know how to pronounce names, unfortunately, but a good job on that, pulling a live DeGrom. I know someone else also pulled a Bellinger, I believe, or something like that. Love to see those drop packs coming in nicely for all you guys out there. All right, Cindy Chang had the double back in the bottom of the third inning. Screwball looking pretty good as he gets her to strike out. So Screwball gets the inning retired very quickly. We'll go to the sixth inning. 1-0 Windsor. It's 1-0. That's kind of what I expected from this ball game. That's going to be a bunt attempt. Maria Luna got the ball. Bad bunt attempt right there, unfortunately. So Pickles tried to get on with a bunt, but it was right at Luna. Right back on the mound. And that's the first out of the inning. Sturgis up next, and then we'll have, of course, I believe, Shovel Bryant. That's a fly out to left. No, he drops it. Conine drops the ball. It probably hit his glove and fell right to the ground in front of his feet. So that's an error on Conine in right field. Oh, man. That's not a good way to do that, guys. Not right now. Please, not right now. Maria Luna pitching up against now Shovel Bryant. The slugger grounds it over to the shortstop. Oh, beautifully done right there by Maria Luna. Double play. Oh, just when you think that the offense is about to get started, the double plays come through, and the Windsor Whistlers get out of another little situation there that could have gotten worse. And the double plays have been phenomenal for both sides. Andy Greenberg, first baseman for the Windsor Whistlers, up against Screwball here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Screwball's had some good innings. Over to third base it goes. Oh, it gets past the third baseman. I'm not sure if that's going to be an error or just a lazy single, but taking second base is Greenberg. So it was ruled a single, but I think taking second is Greenberg on the throw because it was just by the third baseman. And it rolled down into left field. So a runner on second, no men down, and Tony Gwynn Sr. is up next. And stealing third base is Greenberg, and he's safe. This time he takes the bag easily, even with the 97-mile-an-hour fastball by Screwball. Heffernan not able to get the play at third base done. Oh, man. That's not good. Now they got a runner on third base. Woo! Runner on third base. Nobody down. A brilliant opportunity here for the Windsor Whistlers to capitalize and score a run. It's a wild pitch. It'll score Greenberg. He slides in head first, but there wasn't even a throw. It's 2-0. 2-0 Windsor Whistlers. Greenberg producing himself into be a scoring candidate himself. Oh my gosh. The Apollos have done well, but they've just been hurt by a whole bunch of stuff that is just out of their control. As Tony Gwynn will fly out to right field. Fabtron 7 coming up next. Third baseman for the Whistlers. That's another walk right there. So they have a runner on first base. Garcia Parra up next. Evan Screwball having some problems here now. Flies it out towards center field. On comes Ken Griffey Jr. Makes the grab, retires Garcia Parra, and it'll be up to Pudge. Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. Runner on first base. That's still Fabtron 7. Two men down here in the bottom of the sixth. This might be Evan Screwball's last inning. He gets him to strike out. Good job right there by Evan Screwball, who's only given up 2 runs. Only 2 runs given up by the Houston Apollos, but that might be all that the Windsor Whistlers need behind Maria Luna right now. Ken Griffey Jr. up here first in the top of the 6th, I believe. Grounds it over to the first baseman. Over to first they go. And that's the first out. Sorry, top of the 7th. Peggy Heffernan up next. The power slugging hitting catcher. She's going to push it out towards center. Out goes the center fielder. That's Tony Gwynn, Sr. Makes the easy jogging catch, though. It was near the track. It was hit well, but not far enough. Maria Luna has to go up against Richie Sexton now. 2 men down on the top of the 7th. Sexton hits it well. Out towards center. It's going to go up against the wall. It's going to be a double for Sexton, most likely than not. In comes the throw from Gwynn, sliding into second base of Sexton, and it'll be a 2-out double for Richie Sexton. Sean Green up next. Maria Luna's got a runner in scoring position now. Here comes the pitch from Luna. It's going to be on the infield. Luna's going to make the throw over to first base, and they make the out. Little janky on the animation there, but Luna makes the grab on the infield. She's done a good job covering her own position. Makes the play, and it's still 2-0 Windsor. Evan Screwball is going to pitch the 7th inning. He's only had 90 pitches, so I think he'll be okay. Conine up first for the Windsor Whistlers. That'll be a single. That's probably going to be Evan's day, unfortunately. That'll be a leadoff single for Conine. And they're going to leave Screwball in. All right, Screwball continues to pitch. Dmitry Petrovic going to strike out, checking his swing, but he offered. Nicely done right there by Screwball. Maria Luna up against, now officially, the new pitcher in the game, Diana Hayes. So Evan Screwball's evening is over. Maria Luna up against Diana Hayes. Hayes is 93 to 95 miles an hour, has not had good performances so far. The walks have been a problem for her, but she is a left-handed pitcher. Maria Luna grounds it over past the first baseman. It's going to be a single, probably a double. Around the bases they go. Over to third base. Nope, throws goes to second base. They don't get Luna, unfortunately, as she gets a stand-up double. Conine will hang on at third base. So second and third for Cindy Chang, who already has had a hit today. Diana Hayes up against Cindy Chang. 1 man down. Over to first base they go. It was hard hit enough, though. Oh, great job right there by Sexton to take 1 step back. Almost like an over-the-shoulder grab to make the scoop on that really hard-hit ground ball. Keeps the runner at third base and goes to the bag. Brilliantly done right there by Sexton. That'll leave it up to Andy Greenberg, runner on second and third. 2 men down in the bottom of the 7th inning. Windsor looking to add on to their lead. Over to shortstop it goes, over to first base the throw, and that will retire the side. So the Whistlers threaten, but they don't get anything for it. We'll head to the top of the 8th. Maria Luna is still pitching. 94 pitches for Maria Luna. Wally Evans up first here in the top of the 8th. Diana Hayes is on deck. That's the pitcher's spot. And Evans slaps it over to the shortstop. Oh, it's booted. Garcia-Parra was trying to get it across, and he had to rush it. And he couldn't. Second error of the evening for the Windsor Whistlers will make Ian Levitt be the pinch hitter to replace the pitcher's spot. So the Houston Apollos are going all out. They have the pinch hitter here. Maria Luna still pitching. Runner on first base. Drops work because you connect your Twitch account to your PT account. So if you go to, there you go. The Joker got your link for you. You can watch that video. It explains all about the instructions on how to get those drops set up. And then all you have to do is just be here. All you have to do is just watch. And you can get drops for free. All right, Maria Luna, Ian Levitt. No people out in the top of the 8th inning. Runner on first base. Levitt grounds it over to third. Over to second they go. He breaks it up. Evans with a brilliantly good slide. Breaking out the double play at second base. Wally Evans has been surprisingly really clutch for this win for this Houston Apollos team. And that will be the end of the evening for Maria Luna. Tom Glass, the closer for the Windsor Whistlers, has come on to pitch. Runner on first base. That is Levitt. Pickles at the dish. 1 man down. 2-run ball game. This goes to the mound. Over to second base they go, and that's another breakup. Glass goes to second. Garcia-Parra can't do the throw over to first. And it'll leave Pickles on first base, and Sturgis up to plate. Up to the plate at this point. You don't want to let Bryant and Ken Griffey get a chance for this. Over to third base of the ball. He had to dive for it to make the play. It's an error. So the third baseman makes the amazing stop on the ground ball to his left, but he can't make the throw. Runners on first and second. You have the tying run at second base and the home run champion at the plate against Glass. Oh no. Oh no. So it was a brilliant stop by Fabtron at third base, but then the throw was rushed to get Sturgis. And if I remember correctly, Sturgis has got some decent wheels. So, oh boy, guys. Left-handed pitching, Tom Glass versus the right-hander, Shovel Bryant. 2 men down, 2 runners on, a 2-0 lead. Houston has the go-ahead run at home plate. Shovel Bryant gets the throw. He strikes out! Tom Glass gets the out against Shovel Bryant. And the score will remain 2-0. Chris Milton coming on to pitch here in the bottom of the 8th inning for the Houston Apollos. Tony Gwynn Sr., Fabtron 7. And then, of course, the cleanup hitter for the Whistlers as Tony Gwynn smacks it down the line and left. This is going to be 2 bases, I believe. Tony Gwynn hustling in towards second, slides in as the throw comes through. And that will be a double for Tony Gwynn. Fabtron 7 and Nomar Garcia-Parra. That was the next 2 people. So Fabtron 7 up next. Windsor trying to get some more answering runs here. They give him the free pass. Wow. The respect to Fabtron given across the diamond. And Nomar Garcia-Parra will have runners on first and second with nobody out. Nomar gets the pitch from Milton. Up the middle it goes. It's going to be through the shortstop's arms, and it's going to be a single. They're going to hold the runners, though, as Ken Griffey Jr. got to it really fast, and he has the arm for it. So it'll be bases loaded for Pudge Rodriguez. The catcher/slugger for the Windsor Whistlers has a chance to break this game wide open as we head into what could be the last inning for some of these teams. Pudge gets his pitch from Milton. Over the middle, it's through the middle. It'll be a single. Pudge delivers. It should be a 2 RBI single. Here comes the throw home. It's not in time. It's a 4-0 ball game for Whistlers. Pudge delivers the RBI single. It's 4-0 Windsor. Jeff Conine up next. Chris Milton has unfortunately let the game get away from him at this point. Jeff Conine grounds it to third base. They take it to the bag. Over to first they go. Not in time, and he's safe at first base, though. Nice try right there by Bryant to make that play. Tried to do the double play from third all the way over to first, but he can only get the runner at third base out, I'm afraid. Petrovic is up next. Runners on first and second still. 1 man down in the inning. He's going to strike out swinging, though. Petrovic has struck him out, I believe, 4 times today. Tom Glass, the pitcher, up next. He has some good pop. He could actually drive a ball here pretty well if he wanted to. 2 men down, 2 men on. Tom Glass grounds it over to second. Over to first they go. And that will end the bottom of the 8th. Lansing? The Lansing Robins didn't finish last. That's all I'm going to say. They got close, but they didn't finish last. They didn't do well, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. They didn't do well. Neither did the Toronto Giants, which was my team. So we're in the same boat, unfortunately, there. All right. Tom Glass pitching in the top of the 9th. Chance to be able to keep his save alive because he came in the 8th inning. He's going to be up against Ken Griffey Jr., Heffernan, and Sexton. All sluggers. And that's going to hit Ken Griffey. A changeup at 68 gets away from Glass. It actually hits him down around the legs, actually. So Ken Griffey's on first. Heffernan up to the bat now. 81 power. She's already had a homer so far in the playoffs. And they're going to go back to first base of a throw, but Griffey's back in safely. Trying to keep an eye on Ken Griffey over there. Ken can steal. The next pitch to Heffernan, and she strikes out. It was a full count strikeout there for Tom Glass, and that's the first man down for the inning. First person down, first lady down. Sorry, that was technically a her. But Peggy Heffernan goes down, and Richie Sexson. This could be it right here, folks. 24 pitches for Tom Glass. 2 more outs. The Whistlers need 2 outs. Fly ball out to right field. Looks like it's a lazy one, though. Right fielder Conine won't make the air this time. Throw back to first, but Kennedy Jr.'s back in time. And that'll leave it up to Sean Green. Sean Green, the right fielder for Houston. Tom Glass, the closer. 30 pitches. Runner on first base. Here comes the pitch from Glass. Hit hard up the middle. It's going to be a single. They're not going to go down without a fight. Over to third of the throw to keep Griffey at second base, and that'll leave it up to the next batter, Wally Evans. Wally Evans up here in the top of the 9th inning. 2 men on, 2 men down. Tom Glass looking to finally get the 3rd out of the game here. He just needs 1 more out. Wally Evans sees the pitch coming in. He strikes out! The Windsor Whistlers gamble with Maria Luna and win on a shared shutout. The gamble pays off for Maria Luna, and the Whistlers take the game 4-0. Oh, masterful performance from Maria Luna. 7 strikeouts, 3 hits, 1 walk. Nuked, absolutely nuked the Houston Apollos offense. Oh, man. MVP of the game was, unfortunately, Maria Luna because of her pitching performance, but personally, I would have given it to Greenberg, who, while he did get a caught-stealing situation, he pretty much single-handedly scored himself in 1 inning. And yeah, and the Windsor Whistlers survived 3 errors, and they are prone to doing errors. So are we going to convince ourselves not to use Abinduct again here? No. No, we're not. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time. It is time for the finals. Benjamin Abinduct is going up against Leah Wayne. The Memphis Kings are 12-5 at home. The Windsor Whistlers are 12-5 on the road. Leah Wayne has her 7-5 record, 3.14 ERA, and amazing 4-pitch combo starter with amazing hitting, by the way, as well. Whew. Is it possible to get the Kings number 2 starter in the pen? You know what? We may make that decision. We may think about that. To be honest, Tim Hudson is the perfect example of someone that I actually would bring in as a number 2 pitcher, as a relief pitcher. So, yes, we will think about that. However, I don't think we want to let Maria Luna pitch after having thrown 102 pitches 2 days ago. So I think we're going to make the objective decision that Maria Luna is tired. So, let me get some water, guys, and we'll do the finals. Yes, she says she's 100% rested, but that's because I have stamina too high. Stamina recovery is too high. All right. Do we want to do another poll and see who wins this? Who do you guys think is going to win? The Memphis Kings had the 2nd best offense in the league and the 2nd best pitching staff in the league. But they have a challenge. They're going up against Benjamin Abinduct, the best starter in the league with his 1.88 ERA. Can the Kings pull this off, guys? Can they? They're 0-2 against the Windsor Whistlers during the regular season. They did not like them. None of their pitchers... Oh, I mean, technically, Leah Wayne had a good start. Tim Hudson did not. So what do you guys think? Whistlers? The Whistlers or the Kings? Splice them and dice them? Everyone likes Benjamin. Yeah, I have to admit, I think it's literally Abinduct's game to lose. All right, let's do it. We are surpassing the 3-hour mark on the stream, but this is the most important game of the season. The Kings have a few of the advantages in terms of hitting. We're going to see the returning Windsor Whistlers and their potent pitching staff. Behind Benjamin Abenduct on the mound, it's going to be Andy Greenberg, Tony Gwynn Sr., Fabtron7, Nomar Garciaparra, Ivan Rodriguez, Jeff Conine, Maria Luna out in left field hitting, Dmitry Petrovich at second base instead of in left field, and Benjamin Abenduct, the almost flawless pitcher, on the mound. For the Kings, we're going to be seeing Dante Robinson and his massive speed at second base, Derek Jeter, their captain and shortstop, Cade Munson, their slugging catcher, Luke Goffinen, their slugging left fielder who batted .380 with 10 home runs during the regular season. Lindsey Felgate, their center fielder, very fast, I believe. Sammy Sosa, who has been on fire as of recently in right field. Kirk Reeder, their third base person, batting .346 for the season. Leo Wayne, who batted .336 for the season with 6 home runs. And Whitney Singh at first base. This is the matchup of the entire season, ladies and gentlemen. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. This is going to be fun. And we're going to be playing it at First Tennessee Park in Memphis. Welcome to the Memphis Kings home stadium with their giant guitar out in right field. Andy Greenberg up against Leo Wayne here in the top of the first. Windsor Whistlers, Memphis Kings. Let's do this. Leo Wayne working here in the top of the first inning as the sky is for evening. Strikes out the first batter she sees on 4 pitches. Andy Greenberg goes down on the first at-bat of the game. Tony Gwynn Sr. up next. Leo Wayne gives up what looks like a big fly ball center field. Center fielder ranging back, though, makes the grab. Fabtron7 in the top of the first here against the Kings. Flies it out towards right. On comes right fielder Matt. Can't make the grab, though. It'll fall in for a single. Sosa couldn't get to it in time, and that'll be the first hit of the ball game. Nomar Garciaparra up next. Runner on first base. 2 men down. Over to the shortstop. They fired over to second base. That'll retire the side. Oops. Didn't mean to skip that fast. Bottom of the second we go. Dante Robinson up against Benjamin Abenduct. This is where it gets interesting. Can the Kings get anything started against Benjamin? The left-handed knuckleball dealer. Dante punches it down the line in right field. This might be a double, though. Over to second with the throw. They're going to cut it off because Dante stands up for a double. He is just way too fast for that. So the Memphis Kings looking to strike first here in the bottom of the first inning. Derek Jeter up next, captain for the Kings. And he sees a curveball over the outside part of the plate for a looking strike 3. Beautiful pitch right there by Abenduct to just paint the outside part of the plate. Oh, man, that was beautiful right there. Cade Munson up next, the slugging catcher for the Memphis Kings. Runner on second base still, 1 man down. Over to first, is going to advance the runner. To the pitcher they go, and that'll be the second out of the inning. On third base, though, is Robinson. Good chance here for Goffinen. The Lone Star MVP, as he is like to be called by chat, up against Benjamin Abenduct. Here's the windup and the pitch. Strikes him out. He offered. It was an outside pitch, but he couldn't hold up. Goffinen can't put the ball in play, and they'll strand the runner at third base. The Windsor Whistlers breathe a sigh of relief. You don't want to give up runs in a finals best-of-1 game like that. Ivan Rodriguez up first against Leo Wayne here in the top of the second inning. Catcher slugger for the Whistlers, and that's a strikeout. Nice pitch right there by Leo Wayne. She wants to match wits with Abenduct today. Jeff Conine up next. Another strikeout. This one, strikeout looking for Conine. Beautifully pitching so far by Leo Wayne. As Maria Luna comes up next. Over to the shortstop. Oh, no, second baseman can't get it. It'll be a single. So, again, another runner put on base at the end of an inning, it looks like. Dmitry Petrovic up with a runner on first base. He has not had a good playoff so far. Over to the right fielder it goes. Lazy fly ball. That's the out, and that'll end the top of the second inning. It would be very ironic if Luna was really good and Abenduck just can't hold it together. That would be ridiculously funny. All right. Felgate up first here in the bottom of the second inning. Abenduck still pitching. Done very good so far. Even though we give the double to Dante. That's a single, though. Nicely hit right there by Felgate. That's going to be a first at-bat single right there for Felgate. Sammy Sosa up next. He's got the pop. He could do something big right here. Benjamin Abenduck, they wheeling and dealing. Up the middle. Shortstop makes a great play. Fires over to first. A fantastic play by Nomar Garciaparra. Ranging far to his left up the middle. Has to make the diving play and then the on-the-knees throw to get Sammy Sosa. Beautifully done right there. No way you're getting Felgate, but you'll take the out at first over a single up the middle. That's a huge play right there by Garciaparra because you don't want to have first and third with nobody out. So a runner on second. One man down for Kirk Reeder. Abenduck wheeling and dealing. Up the middle it goes. This could score a run. Around third base comes Felgate. Here comes the throw. The throw from the center field is not time, and the Memphis Kings take a one-run lead. Abenduck blinks first, and the Memphis Kings take a 1-0 lead in the finals. Leo Wayne up next. Great hitter right here. Reeder still on first base. Abenduck trying to get out of the, second inning here, I believe. Wow, what a throw by the third baseman. Greenberg ran in hard, made the off-balance throw, made it look easy. And they get Leo Wayne easily, and she has some speed, too. I don't think Kirk Reeder has any speed. I think that's the problem. Yeah, no speed on Reeder, so you're not going to attempt that. Reeder's all defense. So, great play right there. Actually, I'm sorry, that's not Greenberg. That's Fabtron. Fabtron with the great play at third base, making it all look fancy over there. So they have the runner on second base, 2 men down. Whitney Singh up to the plate at this point. And that's a looking strikeout pretty much right down the middle. That's just Abenduck being like, yeah, you can't hit this. You just can't hit this. That was a changeup just right almost down the middle of the plate. Nicely done right there. All right. But the 1-0 lead has become a reality for the Memphis Kings. Leo Wayne against the opposing pitcher, Abenduck. He spanks it right to the first baseman, but a great play by Singh. Records the out. That was actually well struck right there. Yeah, Singh can't really hit much. She's more of a first baseman, defender / backup player. So, yeah, that kind of happens, unfortunately. All right, back to the top of the order for the Windsor Whistlers. They need to get something started to get this run back. Leo Wayne versus Andy Greenberg. Over to the shortstop it goes. Over to first base of the throw. That's the second out of the inning. Jeter had to get that over there fast, as Greenberg has definitely got the speed, but they get him out. Tony Gwynn Sr., last chance for the Whistlers in this inning. Plops it into the left center field. That'll be a single. So the Whistlers continue to get these just 2-out singles that they just can't really do much more about, though. Fabtron 7, chance to be able to continue the inning here. Runner on first base is Gwynn. Nubber in front of the plate. Catcher makes the grab, fires it over to first. Records the out, and that'll end the inning. Bottom of the third we go. Benjamin Abenduck against the top of the order for the Memphis Kings. Dante Robinson up first. He pokes it again down the right field line, past the diving third baseman, this time just for a single. 2 for 2 for the day for Dante Robinson. That's all the Kings could be asking for from him. His speed is more than enough. Abenduck wheeling and dealing against Derek Jeter. That's a swing and a miss on a curveball. Abenduck has not been using the knuckleball as often for like strikeouts and weak contact pitches. I wonder if that's a problem. He's been using the curveball a lot more. Cade Munson up next. Runner on first base. 1 man down. Speedster over at first. Munson drives it towards center. A beautiful catch by the center fielder, Tony Gwynn Sr. Has to make the dive, but comes up with the baseball. That otherwise would have been a double right about there. Luke Goffinen up next. 2 men down. Runner on first base is Robinson still. Flies it out towards center. This one's much easier for Tony Gwynn Sr. Doesn't have to dive for this one. Makes the grab, and that will retire the side. We'll head to the top of the 4th inning. It is still 1-0. Memphis Kings. Leah Wayne has out-dueled Abenduct so far. She has 52 pitches, though. I don't know how much longer they're going to keep going with her before they have to go to their bullpen. Nomar Garcia-Parra up first. Pops it up on the infield. First baseman takes charge. Oh, second baseman calls him off. Robinson pulls it in for out number 1. Ivan Pudge Rodriguez up next against Leah Wayne. One man down the top of the 4th. And he'll go down swinging. Strikeout number 4 for Leah Wayne. Jeff Conine, 2 men down. Plops it down the left field line. That'll be a single. This might be 2. Around first base, heading towards second is Conine, coming in with a slide, and he is safe. Nicely done right there by Conine. Gets a 2-out double in front of Maria Luna. So a chance here for the Memphis Kings, or the Windsor Whistlers. They keep getting runners on base, but they just can't drive them in. Leah Wayne wheeling and dealing, and that's going to be a ball 4. Ooh, that was borderline. Oh, man, that was so close. I thought it was a strikeout for a second there. But they don't get the call. Leah Wayne walks Luna, and Petrovic has a chance to drive in runs here. 2 men down, 2 men on. And he strikes out looking. Leah Wayne comes back from the double and the walk to get Petrovic to strike out a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, ending the inning. Bottom of the 4th we go. Lindsay Feldgate up first against Abenduct. Back half of the Memphis Kings order. Abenduct gets a little nubbler in front of the plate. Makes the play over to first base, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Sammy Sosa. Second to bat here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Popped up on the infield. First baseman, second baseman calls him off. Makes the play. Leah Wayne has been phenomenal. I underestimated her a little bit, but at the same time, I kind of wanted her to do this because she has these kinds of abilities. Kirk Reeder, last person potentially here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Abenduct wants a quick inning if possible. Out towards right it goes. Second baseman's right there, though. Makes the grab, makes the throw. And a 1-2-3 inning for Abenduct. And he'll be able to continue pitching. Top of the 5th they go. Abenduct has got 55 pitches. Leah Wayne's at 80. So Leah Wayne has struggled, but she's kept it good. Abenduct up first to bat here. That's a strikeout swinging for Abenduct against Leah Wayne. So 6 strikeouts for Wayne. Goes to the top of the order. Over to the shortstop it goes. Over to first base. Throws slow, but they get him out. Jeter had to set himself a little bit more than usual, but they get the speedy Greenberg out at first base just by about a step. And that'll leave it up to Tony Gwynn Sr. to try to get something started here. He's 1 for 2 for the day so far. Over to the first baseman. First base makes the play. Hustles to first base. Makes the out. And the Memphis Kings have had 5 brilliant innings. Brilliant innings from Leah Wayne against the Windsor Whistlers. Just phenomenal so far. Benjamin Abenduct up against Leah Wayne, the good hitting starter from Memphis. Abenduct trying to wheel and deal again. This one goes out towards center. I think Leah Wayne's got a double. Up to the wall it goes. Leah Wayne's also very fast. This could be a triple. Around second base, heading towards third base. Nope, holding off at second base. She thought about it. Leah Wayne really thought about that right there, but she held up at second base, so it'll be a leadoff double for Leah Wayne. Whitney Singh up next. Abenduct looking to get some quick outs here. Strikes out Whitney Singh. Nice 0-2 changeup right about there. No, sorry, curveball down in the dirt almost. Nicely done, nicely done. Dante Robinson, 2 for 2 Dante Robinson so far in the game. Flunks it down the third base line. Over to first base they go. Nicely done by Fabtron7 again with these really good plays at third base. The arm to back it up. And they'll get the second out of the inning. Taking third is Leah Wayne. But that'll leave it up to Derek Jeter to score the second run of the game for the Kings. Abenduct wants to get out of this. He can't have any more runs given up, especially with the way that the pitching staff has done for the Kings. Over to shortstop they go, over to first base. That'll retire the side. Abenduct gets out of the little bit of a jam with the runner on third base. Still 1-0 for Memphis as we head to the top of the 6th inning. There is still plenty of ball game left for the Windsor Whistlers to get something started, but Leah Wayne has looked very sharp so far. Out towards center it goes. Leaping but can't make the grab is the center fielder. That's going to go all the way to the wall. That's going to be a double for the leadoff hitters. Fabtron gets a leadoff double. Felgate tried to back up in time, couldn't make the play, and it went all the way to the wall. So that's what you want to see if you're a Whistlers fan right about there. Runner on second base, nobody down. Leah Wayne having to go through the heart of the order for the Windsor Whistlers. Next up, Nomar Garcia-Parra. Wayne wheeling and dealing. Garcia-Parra plunks it out towards center. Oh, the redemption play by the center fielder. Felgate makes this play. A beautiful diving catch by Lindsay Felgate in center field. Beautifully done right about there. Beautifully done. That'll leave it up to the rest of the order. Pudge Rodriguez up next. Leah Wayne now at 96 pitches for the evening. I bet you 6 innings is all she's going to be able to do. Pudge pokes it on the ground to the third baseman. They hold the runner at second. Fire it over, and Rodriguez is retired. Jeff Conine up next. 2 men down. Runner on second base. The Whistlers need this run. Towards center field it goes. Felgate moving to her right. Makes the easy play, and that will end the inning. The side is retired. The Kings will retain their 1-0 lead as they come back from the leadoff double. Leah Wayne has had a gutsy performance so far today, guys. Absolutely just gutsy performance. Going through multiple attempts with runners in scoring positions. And just doing a fantastic job. Fantastic job. Cade Munson up here first in the bottom of the 6th. This one's hit well, out towards right center field. It's flying high, it's flying far. It's a solo home run! 2-0 as Abenduct gives up the solo homer to the slugger Munson. All he can do is watch, and it's a 2-0 lead for Memphis. A beautiful home run right there by Cade Munson to right center field. Abenduct blinks again. Oh my gosh. Luke Gofanen up next. 0 for 2 for the evening so far. Abenduct needs to get this under control. Out towards center it goes. On comes the center fielder. That's Tony Gwynn Sr. Makes the easy grab. And that will finish off at least Gofanen. Actually, Extra Cheese Puffs, when you submitted a player, you could actually select Crazy Bunt as your power-up. That just added abilities to your power, to your bunting ability and your speed, but I allowed people to pick between power-ups, actually, so, yeah. All right, Lindsay Felgate up next. Benjamin Abenduct wants to retaliate for that home run. Over to the shortstop they go. Over to first base. That'll be the second out of the inning, I believe, and then it'll leave it up to Sammy Sosa. Abenduct has been blinking. He hasn't been choking, but he's definitely not been like this during the regular season as he strikes out Sammy Sosa to end the inning. So through 6, it's 2-0. 2-0 Memphis Kings, showing why they're dominant. They can score runs against the best, and they can outpitch the best. Leah Wayne is going to go for 7 innings. Luna, Petrovic, and Abenduct up to bat. Luna gets, oh, a beautiful play by the shortstop. He fires it over, but it's not in time. Jeter makes the absolutely beautiful grab up the middle, but the arm can't get the speedy Maria Luna over at first base. And that'll be an infield single for Maria Luna, and it'll put Petrovic up with a runner on first base. Wow, that was a gorgeous attempt right there. Luna is everything for the Whistlers right now. She really is. Nomar got the out. Well, Nomar had a better arm than Jeter did during his career, so... Anywho, Petrovic. Runner on first base, nobody down. Leah Wayne doesn't want to get in trouble right here. That's high. It's deep. It's to left field. Up against the wall. It's a tie game. Petrovic hits a 2-run bomb, and we're all tied up. The Russian gets the runs. Petrovic blasts out of his slump with a huge monster 2-run homer for the Windsor Whistlers, and it is a ball game once again. Oh, man. They left Leo Wayne in probably one too many batters right there. Oh, my gosh, that was great. Abinduct. Nobody out still in the inning. Okay, now there's one person out. All right, there we go. And that will be it for Leo Wayne, as Walter Hall is going to come in to pitch for the Memphis Kings. I'm somewhat surprised about this. I think we probably have Hall pitch against Greenberg and Gwynn, and I think that's all he's going to do. And if they have problems, we may substitute in somebody else. Walter Hall, left-handed pitching up against Sandy Greenberg, top of the order here for the Windsor Whistlers. Flies it out towards left center field. Left fielder arranging over to his left, makes the grab, and Gofanen retires Greenberg. All right, Hall looking to finish the inning at this point. Walter Hall up against Tony Gwynn Sr., lefty on lefty. And Gwynn's going to pop it into right center field. That's going to be trouble. It'll be a double, most likely, up against the wall, rattling around. And Gwynn will get a 2-out double. 2-out double against the Memphis Kings. And I think we're going to replace Hall because I don't want to see this game go away to bad AI. I think your best option is probably to go with either Felgett or Hudson. Hudson might be the option right here. I think Hudson's probably your option. I'd go with Felgate, but she has not been as good, so Hudson it is. Hudson's going to come into the ball game. They tried Hall against the lefties. You want to have Tim Hudson against the righties at this point. Vincey's like, no, don't take out the worst pitcher to go against the lefties. Give us the advantage. But if the AI was doing a smart job, they would take Hall out right here. This is your last game. You're going to throw in Hudson. We currently have no minimum on batters. And we also have no warm-ups either. We have no minimum batter. Because of the fact that this is the Backyard Project. It's not a full replica of MLB. It's a replica of Backyard Baseball, which had no batter minimum. So we defeat your 3-batter minimum rule. All right, Tim Hudson has come into the game against the Windsor Whistlers. Fabtron 7 trying to get his team a lead here. They have the heart of the order, Fabtron, Nomar, and Ivan. 2 men down, runner on second base. Tim Hudson working against Fabtron. This is going to be a single, though. It's going to go out to left field. Around third comes the runner. They sent him too soon, and he's out at the plate. They nailed the runner at home plate. The Whistlers were aggressive, but they were probably too aggressive. Gofanen with the arm out in left nails the runner going home, and it's a tie game. Oh, man, this game has had it all. The comeback, the throwouts at the plate, decision-making that's questionable. That's Luke Gofanen in left field. So not exactly a cannon of an arm, but, you know, I wouldn't have sent... I don't think you should be sending Tony Gwynn on that right there. So, yeah, that was Tony Gwynn coming home. So, wow, it's going to be 2-2 heading into the bottom of the 7th. Abinduct is still pitching as he pitches to Kirk Reeder. Over to third, over to first. That's the first out of the inning so far. Excuse me, I need some water after all that yelling. Good grief. That inning was something else. The 2-run homer out of nowhere, the throw out at the plate. Oh, man, that had everything right there. All right, now, guys, do we pinch hit for Tim Hudson here? Because we do have... I mean, I don't think we do. We would be bringing in Lisa Crockett to pitch 2 innings at that point. I don't think we go. I don't think we do. I think Tim Hudson has to hit here. He has to go another inning. Because you want Tim Hudson against Nomar, Ivan, and Jeff Conine. You really do. So Tim Hudson will keep hitting here, I believe, in the bottom of the 7th inning. Yeah, I think 2 is too much for Crockett. Hudson strikes out on a 2-2 pitch. I mean, what do you expect? It's Benjamin Abenduk. What do you expect? Whitney Singh, potentially the last batter here in the bottom of the 7th inning against Abenduk. Grounds it over to the second baseman. Over to first they go, and that'll retire the side. So Abenduk has gone 7 innings, 2 runs. It's a tie ball game. Tim Hudson will continue to pitch here in the top of the 8th inning. They're hoping. Either team is hoping for just 1 run. That's all they need is 1 run. There'll be Nomar, Pudge, and Jeff Conine here in the top of the 8th inning. Strike out against Nomar Garciaparra. Tim Hudson comes with the changeup. No, curveball. Curveball at 76 miles an hour. Oh, Crockett's probably warmed up right now. Oh, yeah. Ivan Pudge Rodriguez up next. Out towards right center field. That's going to be a double. It'll be extra base hits at least. Right fielder's going to have to get the ball. It might be a triple. Ivan turns. Nope, he'll hold up at second base as the throw comes in from Sosa. Jeff Conine up next against Tim Hudson. That was a good piece of hitting right there by Pudge. Puts himself in scoring position. Maria Luna's on deck. She's been hot. That'll be a single. Let's see if they'll send the runner again. They're not going to try it this time, and it'll be just a single. Just a single for Conine. Runner on first and third. 1 man down. Luna could be a double play potential right about here. I don't think Memphis has a left-handed pitcher. Yeah, Crockett's a righty, and Florence is also a righty. So it's got to be Tim Hudson here. Got to be Tim Hudson. Luna up to bat. 2 hits on the evening so far. 2 for 2 performance. Tim Hudson could really use a ground ball double play right about here. The 2-2 pitch. And she strikes out. Hudson gets her to strike out on the 90-mile-an-hour fastball. It'll leave it up to Petrovic. Petrovic, runner on first and third, had the 2-run homer back in the 7th inning. Let's see if he can do something here. You got to bring in Crockett? I don't know. I mean, I'm not exactly comfortable with Crockett. Like, Crockett's not bad, but are we really bringing in Crockett when this could go extra innings, though? Because then we have to use Felgate. If we go extra innings, we have to use Felgate. What do you guys think? What does chat say? What do you think, chat? Do we bring in Crockett here? Or do we leave in Hudson to pitch against Petrovic? Hudson has not been great. Like, I'm not exactly impressed with Hudson, but he hasn't done too bad. He's gotten the strikeouts. Hudson, trust the pro. Hudson, leaving Hudson. But I'm biased. I mean, yeah, he's got plenty of stamina. He's not tired. Hudson's definitely not tired. The problem is just, is this the best matchup? Hudson versus Petrovic, which I think it is. I think it's just fine. Ooh, wow. I mean, you got to hope and pray that this game doesn't go extras and you win, but pray for extras so you don't lose. So I think you have to leave Hudson in. All right, Hudson's going to pitch against Dmitry Petrovic. Petrovic, runner on first and third, 2 men down. He's going to have an 0-1 pitch on the way. Up towards center it goes, but it's a lazy fly ball. In comes center fielder, makes the grab, and Hudson pumps his fists as he gets out of the inning. Nicely done by Tim Hudson to get out of that jam. We could have walked Dmitry, that is true. Forced the AI to pinch hit for Abenduk. But again, as you can see, Abenduk is still pitching. They would not have pinch hit. Abenduk will pitch the 8th inning. Dante Robinson, top of the order for the Memphis Kings. Up against Abenduk. Let's see if Dante can keep going. And he's going to walk him. Oh, no. Oh, no. A walk to Dante Robinson. The one thing that Benjamin does not do, and the one thing that the Memphis Kings wanted, is Robinson on first base. Wow. So the Whistlers could bring in Tom Glass, Ray Tran, or Billy Mendelssohn. I mean, the problem is, I don't think you're going to do that. Maybe against Munson and Gofanen? Maybe, I don't know. I would leave in Abenduct regardless. He's not tired. His arm sailed to the plate. I mean, he's not even in, like, the deep yellows yet, guys. He's still well done right now. Yeah, and he just missed. So that's just Robinson with his really good eye. All right. Derek Jeter up against Benjamin Abenduct, bottom of the 8th. No man out. They pitch out. Here's the steal attempt. And he's out! The runner is out, going to second base. Pudge Rodriguez guns down Dante Robinson. Oh, man. Well done right there. Huge punch out from Pudge. Glares down Dante as he walks back to the dugout. And Derek Jeter has nobody on base to be able to do anything with now. And he's going to strike out on a full count knuckleball. Benjamin Abenduct comes back from the leadoff walk to get 2 men back-to-back on the knuckleball that just freezes up Derek Jeter. Cade Munson, the last chance for the Memphis Kings in this inning. He has the power. He could do something here. Over to first it goes. That's a weak little ground ball, and that will retire the side. We'll go to the 9th inning. It's all tied up 2-2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, does Hudson keep pitching? Are we going to let Hudson go another inning, or are we going to bring in Crockett? This is the deciding moment. We're not going to let Luna pitch, by the way. Luna's not allowed to pitch. She pitched 2 days ago. She is tired. The AI is saying yes. So at least against Cindy Chang. Yeah, I agree. At least against Cindy Chang. So Tim Hudson, first batter of the evening, or the inning, gets Cindy Chang striking out on the sinker ball. Nicely done. Oh, and the AI is going to make the decision for me anyways. Okay, fine. Lisa Crockett in to pitch against Andy Greenberg and Tony Gwynn. The closer for the Memphis Kings. Crockett in her 2.25 ERA has had 9 saves, 5 walks, 42 strikeouts during the regular season. Greenberg up first. Pops it into left center field. This could be trouble. Greenberg's fast. This is going to be extra bases at least. He's heading in towards second, sliding in of a double. And that'll be a 1-out double for Andy Greenberg. There is no lefty in the pen. There is no lefty in the pen. Everybody is right-handed. The Memphis Kings do not have a left-handed pitcher, I believe, on their entire team. Lisa Crockett gives up the double. Tony Gwynn Sr., good chance here to be able to score score the runner on second base. It's down the line in right field. It'll be a single. Here comes the throw from the cutoff person. I think I cut it off. Oh, he won't go home. So they're going to hold the runner at third base. Greenberg stays at third. Gwynn Sr.'s on at first, and it's up to Fabtron7, who is 3 for 4 for the evening so far. Oh, man. This is going to get interesting. Lisa Crockett, 1 down. Runner on first and third. Fabtron7 up to bat. Shoots it out towards center field. This should score the run. Center fielder ranging over, makes the grab. Here comes the run. The runner comes home. Not even a throw. It's going to be a lead for the Windsor Whistlers. The Whistlers have come back down 2-0 to take a 3-2 lead in the top of the 9th inning. Lisa Crockett now has to face off against Nomar Garcia-Parra. Runner on first base. Crockett needs to get out of here as fast as possible. Over to first base it goes. Little nubber. Pitcher covers. They can't get it in time. It bobbled. A base hit for Garcia-Parra as Singh couldn't field it correctly. Had to wait for Crockett to try to get to the bag, and Crockett wasn't ready for that either. And you are correct. Abenduct has been pinch hit for by Chang. So we're not going to see Abenduct go the complete game. Unfortunately, it's going to be the closer, which is going to be Tom Glass. Which is good because Gofanen and Felgate, well, no, technically Reeder's the only left-handed person out there. But Garcia-Parra gets the air single. I'm going to call that an air single at this point. Pudge Rodriguez up next. He strikes out to end the side. But they score the 1 run on the sacrifice fly. So Greenberg again comes through with a sacrifice opportunity. And it's going to come down to the bottom of the 9th. Here we go, folks. Tom Glass in to pitch for the Windsor Whistlers. They need 3 outs. 3 outs. Gofanen, Felgate, and Sammy Sosa up to bat against Tom Glass. They just need a run to be able to send this game into extra innings. Luke Gofanen steps up to the plate. Tom Glass wheeling and dealing. Over to the shortstop. It's going to be deep in the hole. He can't boot it. He boots it. It's going to be a single. A single as Garcia-Parra boots the ball as well. An error for the Windsor Whistlers as Garcia-Parra tried to rush it deep in the hole. And Gofanen is on at first base. He's the tying run. Felgate up next. She would be the winning run. Oh, man, it's going to come down to the wire, isn't it? Felgate up next. Tom Glass having to work against the right-handed hitters now. Felgate and Sosa. Sosa, very good hitter on deck. You don't want to have him up with runners in scoring position. Felgate going to see a first pitch, I believe. It's high. It's going. It's a walk-off. It's a walk-off 2-run homer. Lindsey Felgate hits the walk-off homer. The Memphis Kings have come back. It's a spoiler. The Memphis Kings have walked it off. The 2-run shot by Felgate. And your winners of the first season of the Backyard Project is the Memphis Kings. Congratulations. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh man. Oh my gosh, what an ending. Felgate sees the first pitch from Tom Glass, sends it down the line, and the Memphis Kings are your Season 1 walk-off Backyard Project champions. I need oxygen, please. Send some oxygen. Oh my gosh, that was a great game. Oh my gosh, that was a fantastic game. Oh man, that was great. Oh, look at that box score, guys. Look at the win percentage. Oh my gosh. That was a beautiful season. That was a fantastic Season 1 of the Backyard Projects. Ladies and gentlemen, my voice is absolutely gone. I was not expecting a walk-off homer right there. Oh, that was perfect. That was picture perfect. I'm so sorry for Abinduct and the Whistlers. But, you know, you gotta... That's the decision-making thing right there. You know, you take out Abinduct in the top of the 9th to get that pinch-hitting position for Cindy Chang. And you just wish you had Abinduct for that 9th inning to be able to finish that ball game. So absolutely no diss on, you know, Abinduct for a fantastic performance. You know, Fabtron coming with a 3-for-4 performance and the go-ahead run in the 9th inning. Oh, that game was everything. That game was everything for this entire series. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, your champions for the Backyard Project's first season is going to be, if I can go ahead and simulate a day. I'm going to guess it's going to do this. There he goes. That's what I was looking for. No champions? What do you mean no champions so far? There we go. Your champions of the 2020 Backyard Project season is the Memphis Kings, behind Sammy Sosa, Dante Robinson, Kirk Reeder, Cade Munson, Derek Jeter, Luke Gofanen, Lindsey Felgate, Lisa Crockett, Florence Felgate, Walter Hall, Tim Hudson, Whitney Singh, and their star ace, Leah Wayne. If you liked this content, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a Season 2. I'm going to be working on the form to make sure that everybody can submit players if they'd like to be able to get involved in Season 2. We will most definitely be doing this again. That was fantastic. That was a great final game for the regular season, for playoffs, for everything. That was perfect. Perfectly done. So anywho, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Next week, we are going to have another Backyard Project stream. We're going to talk about Season 2, and we're going to do awards. All right? We're actually going to vote for awards. We're going to let you guys decide what we want to do for awards, who wins, why they should win. We'll talk about that next week while we talk about Season 2. Otherwise, guys, that has been absolutely fantastic for a stream right there. Congratulations to the Memphis Kings. Congratulations to everybody who was involved in this, by the way. For anybody who was involved with your team, no matter where you finished in the regular season, congratulations. You guys all did fantastic. The submissions were great. The season was great. I think that was everything I was hoping it was going to be. And that's going to be it for the stream. I need to go take some warm water, some warm salt water so my voice doesn't die for tomorrow. Oh my gosh, that was great. I hope you guys had a fun time being here. I hope you guys had a fun time watching all of that. Hope you guys had a fun time collecting drops for almost 4 hours of stream time. And that will end Season 1 of the Backyard Project. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I'm gonna go breathe. Just need to breathe. Oh, man. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. I will see you all next Saturday.